that's it. I'm officially declaring this a real legit Star Trek theme. That's it. It's just too good. It gets me in too much of a Trek spirit. So it's real Trek music to me, of course, because it was picked by my wonderful, extraordinary first officer. And everyone, it is wonderful to see you all. Welcome to CLOBBERIN Times, issue number 177 on YouTube, and of course 877 overall. CLOBBERIN Treks is here tonight for some more Star Trek. And before we get started, we're going to say some intros and some hellos and do some show notes, and then we'll get right on it. But first, I want to say thank you to my wonderful first officer for being here tonight. The extraordinary, the amazing, the beautiful RAQUEL BRIGGS, greatest first officer in Starfleet, by the way.
Whee!
What she said.
Everybody. What a warm welcome. You know, it's really easy to be the best first officer when you have the best damn captain in all of Starfleet. I love you so much. It's such a great honor to be here. I'm so excited for the show tonight. And hail to everyone in the chat. We are going to have such a great time this evening. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and this show.
Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it, absolutely. And let's see here. Go to Great Crowd. We already got filing in here, and we're gonna. As for those who don't know, anyone new here, we review all of Star Trek. We're doing it we've started with the original series back in January, and here we are, week 20, I guess 29 or whatever it is, and we've got a long way to go, but not a short time to get there. So I cannot wait. What a journey this has been. What a journey this is going to be. And we've done original series. We've done animated series. We've done the original crew films. And next up, as we have proceeded as we started last week, Star Trek: The Next Generation. And we're going to get right to that. First, I want to do a quick show note. And then a couple of show notes, and then we will say our hellos to our friends, and then we'll get moving. What about that? How about that, first officer?
Sounds great. All
right. Because some of those early episodes, he kept saying, Picard kept calling Riker first officer. So, anyway, Monday night, will be just open Monday night Mark C. Geek Talk. Oh, tomorrow I will be on at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time with the wonderful Purple Valkyrie on her channel, and I'm looking forward to that. And Wednesday night, my great friend Flash, at a later time though, 10 p.m. Central, we will be doing, as we did a couple of weeks ago, we had a fantastic time doing our top 25 all-time favorite movies countdown. Well, now it's the TV shows, and we just have a blast doing that. Everyone was so much fun talking about their favorite movies, and we're going to have this again. This is Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on CLOBBERIN Times with my good buddy Flash. So I'm looking forward to that. And remember, everyone, say it every time, but we want to get it out there. August 8th, 1961, for the release of Fantastic Four #1, the world's greatest comic magazine, Marvel Comics, their first family, their most important comic ever. I will gather my global geek gang to celebrate their 60th anniversary, 60 years to that day, and that will be August 8th, 2021, next month, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on that good Sunday, and so please join us for that. Thank you all for being here tonight with us, and we like to, for those who are new here, we like to interact with our wonderful chat, and we'd like to say hello to everybody, and we are going to begin that monumental task right now, because we got look at that. Look how many wonderful friends are here already.
Yeah, I love this community, and each and every single person in this community is valuable to this channel and to this show. And you guys are more than just an internet community. You guys are our Star Trek family. And so yeah, we're going to shout you out. And we don't care how long it takes. We'll do it quickly, so we won't be annoying. But each and every one of you is important. And so we want to say hello to you as though, you know, when Clobby and I started this, We both started one night. We spoke very late into the evening, and we talked about the fact that I watched the 735 installments of Star Trek every year, and we spoke about that. But we also spoke about this sense of missing what it was like to have the camaraderie of these non-corporate conventions, how we all used to sit and exchange information and teach and learn from one another. And so yeah, that's the kind of community we're trying to build here. And we do have an expert chat, and we all work together to celebrate every little nuance there is to Star Trek. So yeah, every single one of you.
Absolutely.
You're all important.
Absolutely. And I write them down to get everybody who comes in. And I hope I don't miss anyone. So if we do, we'll try not to. So tonight with us, of course, is the great Snortapoopus Cuber.
Snortapoopus!
Cuber!
There you go. You like that? That's how much fun we have it. Our great buddy, the great Mark D with the C. Brother, good to see you, man. Look who popped in, the wonderful Katie Carr.
Hey, Katie. Hi, beautiful. How is university? How is dance? My beautiful ballerina. So good to see you.
It is lovely to see you, Katie. We are so happy to see you tonight. We don't do them in particular order, folks, but I try to write them down as much, as soon as I get them in here. So, the great Lord Thoth, buddy. LT, man. Good to see you. Jesus is my King 68. I know you're out. I know who you are. Good to see you, man. The great Raymond Feliciano. Raymond, who has hung out with me this past, not only in the Global Geek Gang, which is Thursdays, of course, everyone, but also Wednesday night. So good to see you there, buddy.
Yes, the Felicianos. Wonderful people.
Yes, absolutely. And hey to Sandra.
Yes.
Janet from another planet.
Ha ha! Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
She is indeed. It is lovely to see you there, Janet. Thank you for being here, Janet. We appreciate you. My buddy D. Bud Martin, one of the members of the Eric K's mysterious comic book owner shop. Well, shop owner, I should say, Cabal.
Mwah, mwah. So good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, D-Bud. J-Man popped in. I think he was popping in just to say hi.
Oh,
but
good.
J-Man, we always appreciate you, brother. Thank you for popping in there. Liger fan, hey.
Yeah, did you bring your tots? I want your tots, Liger fan. Only a Liger fan could carry tots.
Tots at the ready. Anti-derivative Jill, it is so lovely to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Jill.
My girl. Mwah, mwah.
The great master of all that is Wrench, Eric K, buddy.
Oh, can we show Eric's pictures?
We sure
just
can.
one picture. I'm sorry. So we do I don't know, some of you have endeared yourselves to me so much, and I've gotten to know you so well, and I care about you all so much that I wanted to reach back. And so Claudia and I decided that I was going to do these little giveaways, and we were going to send out gifts to folks. So I sent some socks with the help of Mark D with a C, who helps me send things to my American friends because it's easier. And so we do these community giveaways. And Eric and JT Kirk won the TOS community giveaway, which you don't have to, there are no rules to it. You don't have to be here to watch it. It's none of that kind of funny stuff. It's just a little draw, like a door prize for being here. So, yeah, Eric won, and Eric sent me a picture of his socks. You have to see his socks. Globby.
Okay, what, you sent them to me?
Yes, I sent it to you on Twitter. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see here. Oh my goodness. It's like a rerun. Give me a sec here. Eric, this is your doing, sir. You asked for it. Do we have Eric's permission to do this?
Yes, we do. Yes, he gave me full permission.
Okay. Wanted to be sure.
He's being very modest in the picture. He's only showing he's not even showing any ankle. It's it's an extremely modest photograph. Sorry to grind the chat to a halt. Everyone, sorry. There's a speed.
Oh, thanks a lot, Eric. Jesus Christ.
Look at those ears.
Oh my goodness.
You look great, Eric.
Dude, no comment. No, I'm just kidding. Eric is a great buddy. He's the bronze surfer. So there you go, Eric. I hope you like those.
Scuba Pete is disappointed that you didn't show your belly button.
Well, you know, Scuba Pete, you can contact Eric. He has a special page for that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get with Eric on that one, buddy.
Pat says that they're very slimming. Those socks are very slimming.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay. Well, are you gonna wear those out in public? I hope so. All right. Well, we could let us take up where we left off. Okay. Because we have so many wonderful friends here. And Eric, I hope you enjoy those socks, buddy. And we really appreciate all you do for us, brother. You're the man. Yes. We love all of you here. The great Chris Purgell, master of all this wrench from Canada.
Yes, sis.
You're the man, buddy.
For like it.
Guess who's here?
Who?
A blast from the past is here. You ready? All right. Get ready, folks. A blast from the past. All right, now let me key up here.
All right.
All right. Is everyone ready?
Brace yourselves.
Yes. Cover your ears, everyone. It's going to be loud. No, not too loud. There we go. Dr. Hercule Monkey. I'm sorry, Doc. We're just excited to see you, buddy.
Very good to see you, Doc. Nice to see you here.
Oh my goodness. This is where we at. Okay. The great Steve Mitchum. Hey, bud.
Hey, Maddie's
Appreciate
daddy.
you, buddy. Absolutely.
If you have Maddie this week, please smooch your whole face for me. I heard that she's crawling. I am so excited. By the time I meet her, she's going to be walking. It's going to be just wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Man, we got so many. We even got some new people popping in. Let's see. Where's Doc? Well, what's up, Doc? He popped. Oh, he liked it. As long as he likes it, because if it aggravated him, I wouldn't do it. We all know that's a lie. I like to do things that aggravate people. I'm sorry, Doc, but if it aggravated, I'm an aggravating sumbitch. So
I like Darth. What's up, Doc? Yeah. What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? Yeah. Let's see here. Who? Oh, okay. Let's get a roll in here. The lovely Arwen Avalon. I hope you are doing well, my dear. It is great to see you. Thank you for popping in. We always appreciate seeing you. Beautiful lady. It's lovely to see you. Stephen Thompson. Hey there.
Hello. We
got a lot of Steves, although Mitchum did request that you not sing until he's back from the gym. I don't know when that's going to be, though. So, I don't know. And to call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! I love you.
Indeed. Wolfie 762. Hey. Our good buddy JT Kirk is here.
Yay. Also, wearing the very slimming Spock socks.
Yes, also winner of Spock socks there. Kalel 48. Hey. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
A new name in here, and I'm so happy to see new names always. Mazarus. I hope I am not butchering that, but Mazarus, however it is pronounced. Nice. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Welcome. I hope you have a great time this evening. We're just about to get underway.
Welcome to our Trek family. Tyrell, let's see, Tyrell 72 also, and I'm not sure if I've seen you in there before, but thank you for being here. My great friend, the great buddy, Pat S.
Yes, Pat.
Hey.
Janet's asking Eric how much he charges for his OnlyFans.
These are the RAQUELs I know. Okay. Oh, good. Mazarus then. Well, Mazarus, it is a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much. Zathras is here. And as you know, I always have to do my stupid Zathras impression.
It's not stupid. It's good.
We love Zathras. Good to see you, Zathras. Dave Bob Buddy. All right, man. A fellow, someone from my neck of the woods. Let's put it like that. Brother, always a pleasure.
Nice to see you.
Oh, my great buddy, Dad Man Walking 55. Hey, buddy.
The scariest avatar on all of YouTube, with the exception of Mrs. Dadman Walking's avatar, equally as frightening.
Yes, terrifying, the terrifying avatar of Dadman Walking will chill you to your bones. Parrot Head Buddy, all right, wasting away, but not in Margaritaville. Not searching for that lost shaker of salt. And I aggravate him with that song every time. Sorry about that, buddy.
Nice to see you, Parrot Head.
The great Just Joe 47, good old buddy Jobber. Great to see you there, my friend. Darth Haster, hey, bud. Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in.
Absolutely. A Polymies Minion. Hello,
and the
Lydia.
pepperoni.
And the pupper.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Stuart Mitchell, another new arrival. It is great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
I think I'm caught up with everyone, so we're going to get it rolling, everybody, because we've been, it takes a while to get started, but we like to, do all this because we have so much fun. We do it because we care about everyone. If there were like we're very small, we're an intimate group. I mean, if there were 50, obviously there were 70, 80 people here, we couldn't do it. It would take forever, but there's enough of us now where it feels like a group hanging out, and we love everyone showing up. And that's why we like to shout you out at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Parrot Head is a good point. If that song aggravated him, he wouldn't be a Parrot Head. He would not. Yeah, he's a Jimmy Buffett Parrot Head.
Raymond Feliciano. If you're new here in the live chat, that is R.N. Feliciano, an author and a distinguished member of our community. He says, "Let the savaging begin." Yeah,
absolutely. And hey, Parrot Head, maybe I'll switch to Cheeseburger in Paradise eventually. Buffett. All right, everyone. Well, let's see here. As you all know, and as we have said, we are on Star Trek: The Next Generation. We did the first 4 episodes last week. We are now we've got 4 more this evening. Mm-hmm. And here's a picture of the book, the block text, and then we'll let my first officer take it from here.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to be reading from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block and her husband, Terry J. Erdman. And of course, this has been christened by Ronald D. Moore. And we use this text due to the massive influx of user-generated information that is happening in all of these user-generated sites. And unfortunately, when you go into these user-generated sites and you start to check the veracity of the things that they say there, you find out that they're not facts so much as they are factoids. So multiple layers of fan lore, and they become what we think are facts, but they're not. So around here, we like to use a text that we know is vetted, and that may contain information, especially production information, that you wouldn't hear or see on the internet, something that could only happen in a physical publication. And so we've chosen Paula M. Block's book because we used her for TOS. And the great thing about this book is the summaries are very short, which is really good for podcasting or doing a live show like we're doing here tonight. But Paula is pretty good. She's pretty darn good at getting little facts into her books that you wouldn't otherwise see or hear about. And she does that through interviews. And so we like it. So not perfect. I read from it extemporaneously, and then we sort of judge whether or not we agree with what was said, or if it's something we didn't know, or if it's something we did know, or whether there's a text that disagrees with it. And then we get into the episode. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about the episode. And that's how we're going to proceed this evening. Clubby? Oh, I think I lost.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'm muted. And for those who don't know or are new here, after we do that, after we talk about the episode, I and my wonderful first officer, I'll get her rating on it. So I'll give mine, and then I will ask the chat for theirs and their comments. So we are ready to roll on the first episode, right?
We are.
Of the evening.
Yeah, so we're not watching in broadcasting order. This book is set up to uncover each episode in broadcast order, but we got under or a production order, I mean. But we got underway using broadcast order, so we're just going to stick with that. Okay? So tonight we're going to start with where no one has gone before. You can tell I'm a TOS fan because I almost said mad. Season 1, Episode 6, original air date October 26, 1987. If you're following along in the block text, we're on 34, block 34. And I say that because it looks like a big brick. You'll know when you see it, or if you decide to buy this book. So without further ado, let's get into it. While testing an alleged advanced propulsion system, the crew of the Enterprise find themselves over 1 billion light years from their own galaxy, thrown into a region of space where thought becomes reality. Kozinski, an arrogant Starfleet engineer who claimed responsibility for the advance, doesn't know how to get the ship home. That's because it was actually Kozinski's assistant, a mysterious alien known only as the Traveler, who was behind the ship's astounding journey through time and space. The Traveler claims to have the ability to magnify and utilize the energy of thought, but the excursion outside of the galaxy has left him on the brink of death. And without the Traveler, there is no way home. Eric Menyak, who played the Traveler in this and 2 subsequent episodes of TNG, was the first runner-up in the casting competition for the role of Data. Although Brent Spiner was chosen for the part, the producers liked Menyak and welcomed the opportunity to cast him as the Traveler. In a way, not winning the role of everyone's favorite android was a far more significant stepping stone for Menyak than a permanent position in Star Trek would have been. For the next 12 years, Menyak made guest appearances on dozens of television series, including Cheers, LA Law, Wise Guy, Married with Children, Matlock, and Diagnosis Murder. Then, in 1998, he quit acting entirely and took up a new profession, law. That was the year he graduated from Loyola Law School. The acting jobs had paid for his education and began working as a litigator. He wound up at Newman, Aronson, Vanneman, a firm that specializes in providing assistance to children with disabilities. In fact, the first firm in Southern California to provide representation for disabled children in their struggle to receive appropriate educational programs. It was the perfect fit for Menyak, who had in the past sought the assistance of such advocates on behalf of his son, who had been in a special education program since grade 4. And that's all the block text has to say on where no one has gone before. Any comments on the block text coverage, or just on the show in general? I'm going to throw it over to you, Clobby. Let's dig in.
Yeah, well, interesting coverage. I certainly did not know about that actor. Stanley Camel, and that guy usually always played jerks, and he was the guy who played Kozinski or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was a regular on the show I loved called Monk for the longest time. So now when I see him go back and watch that episode, I go, whoa, dude, he's such a jerk. But yeah, here we go again with the Wesley. By the way, you should all know that Wesley sucks. Just saying.
Yeah.
Wow. This episode, I don't hate it or anything. I just don't think it really works that well, because it always has to be. I don't know. Maybe eventually, early on, maybe they realized that we're doing too much Wesley stuff, and maybe they kind of deserved all the Wesley hate they were getting, because Wesley was involved in every freaking episode, and he's not even. Yeah, he just shouldn't be there. And here we go again. With Wesley being the greatest thing in the universe, the bestest ever.
Yeah,
Renier, look at that Renier's here.
Nauseating. Renier, baby, hello. It's so nice to see you.
Oh,
Beautiful
my goodness.
lady.
Beautiful
Thank you
lady.
for joining us.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing, like right off the hop, Captain, we have them busting up the Bible again. I mean, we spoke about this last week, and we're going to speak about this again in Gene Roddenberry's Bible for this show. And if you would like a copy of it, I do have a copy of it, and it has been transferred into PDF. If you would like a copy of it, please get a hold of me on Twitter. It would be my pleasure to provide it to you. But they're going against the Bible. What is this where no one has gone before? Why is this even here? This whole idea of doing the Diane Duane, the Wounded Sky, and doing this whole thing, this was already, Gene already said no. And we've heard so much in the years betwixt 1987 and now about how the cast and the production was so reluctant to just follow the Bible. Why don't these people just follow the Bible? Gene Roddenberry obviously knows what he's doing, and he creates hit after hit after hit. And every time they go away from the Bible, it's a stinker. It's a poopy diaper. And so here, even with the title, look at this, boss man. How did they do this again? Where no one has gone before, which should be where no man has gone before. But you know what I'm saying.
Of course. It's just, yeah, by the way, hey, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, my good buddy Nick. Hey, buddy.
Nick.
Looking forward to, by the way, Tuesday night, I will be on with that great gentleman on his channel talking Batman Long Halloween Part 1, the animated film. So, yeah, it's just, they get, like you say, they get away from the Bible because it almost seemed like all they cared about was Wesley. I don't understand. He should have never been created. But this show, even if you take Wesley out, this episode's just kind of just dull. Is it just mostly boring, maybe?
Yeah. Well, it just seems like the production team got into so much trouble. Well, the one particular director got into so much trouble with Code of Honor because, of course, he changed it from like lizard people into, right, into what he turned it into. It almost seems like now they're making the move. Well, it doesn't seem like it. It actually is. One can only assume that it's a suck-up measure. Here we have this self-insert. We have Gene Roddenberry indulging himself rather grossly in public, and because they're betraying the Bible and they're not following what he's asked, it seems as though they're trying to make up for it by sucking up to him and putting the Wesley thing in here. And it's really to the point where it's nauseating. Just follow the Bible and make a good show, and then you won't have to suck up to him through his self-insert, because it's obnoxious. It's gross.
It absolutely is. And I will tell you that every episode that is dependent upon Wesley to that extent, I'm always going to give it a bad review because it's a terrible crap crutch that they're very even ones that have an interesting premise are ruined when Wesley. First of all, this one is all about Wesley. There are other ones where he still just saves the day when he's not even that involved, and I hate that as well. This one is full on the Wesley episode, really.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about it, it's boring and it's annoying because, in my opinion, but mostly because of that. I mean, I don't think you have much of a really just kind of a razor thin plot anyway.
Yeah.
But it's all centered around Wesley, so I don't even have to go too far deep into it. You all know he's just freaking annoying.
Yeah, and this is proof positive for those who watch The Filth, and they're like, well, you guys have all these criticisms about The Filth. Well, we also have criticisms about the OG stuff if it also does self-insert. We don't like self-insert. We don't like ham-handed BS. We just don't like it, and we call it the way we see it. So as much as you'll all hear me over the moon praising Star Trek, you'll also hear me call it when it stinks, and this is a real poopy diaper of an episode.
Katie Carr makes a very shrewd comment here that I'd have to single it out because it exemplifies it. She says she likes the first Judy with Wesley, and you know what? Because that's an earnest story about a kid at the academy, and it is a pretty good story. I remember this a while. It's way later in the series, but that's an episode that's not about Wesley saving everything and being the be all end all and having to pull everyone's fat out of the fire. That's a legitimate story about characters, and not only that, he's if he were always portrayed as flawed and kept to a minimum on the show, he would have been fine.
Yeah. And the thing
that's a good point, Katie.
She does put, the first duty, and it's DUTY. But unfortunately, when they reach too far into this, because they're betraying the Bible and they're not sure where else to go, so they're reaching for the self-insert, it becomes their first duty. DOO. DIE. I believe that's how you spell duty. But yeah, it becomes the first duty instead of the first duty. So, what can I say?
Hey, Dee Dee Myers. Yes, you're right.
Oh, it is a Y. I'm sorry. I'm not used to putting duty in I've never spelled out duty before, but anyway, it's yes. I totally respect Katie, and I completely agree. I mean, it's not as though this character is irredeemable in the right hands. It's just right now it's like, okay, well, we keep not doing what the boss says. So while the boss is suffering from congestive heart failure and has all of these medical problems and has problems crossing the room because he's winded, let's just throw lots of self-insert in there and we'll make up for that, even though he put in writing that we were not supposed to go back and dip into TOS. Ugh. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
It's terrible. It's disappointing. And if I were the boss, I'd call him on it, because there's nothing worse than a brown noser.
Absolutely. And so this episode, I mean, if you got some notes, go for it.
Okay, folks, these are my notes while I was watching the show. Eric Menyak auditioned for the part of Data. You'll see that that's a repeat there. I do not pre-read the text because I don't have time to memorize it, and so on and so forth. Picard is a horrible leader. Opening scene is an open argument on the bridge. Why is he so overly brusque? I know a guy exactly like Kozinski, Stanley Camel, or Camel, however you want to pronounce it, is outstanding as an insufferable narcissist with no actual clue. Will Wheaton is an annoying self-insert. Why would a kid stand over the Traveler? Why would the Traveler stand away from his station? There is so much barf here. The Wesley genius barf. And then I wrote, Targ alert with a huge exclamation point, because of course we get to see a Targ here, which is just as cool to me as a Jackal Mastiff. Sorry for the nerding of the Star Trek here. And we have Mozart, Ein klein Nachtmusik. So nice to hear and see on Star Trek. And then we have French Momon. French Momon alert. She's French, he's British. Of course, I love making fun of the fact that they had Patty Stew cast here, even though Gene didn't want him. And then we have Picard yelling at Riker for absolutely no reason. Why does he snap his crayons and just yell at Riker? Then we have the Traveler telling Picard Wesley is a special genius and is the whole reason the Traveler has come. Barf, barf. Self-insert barf fest, which I underlined 4 times. Ensign on the bridge. Barf alert. The first draft of this story was based on Diane Duane's 1983 Star Trek novel Wounded Sky, with ideas that involved the birth of a new universe. In a later draft, Kozinski was Picard's academy roommate. And I should remind you all that this soundtrack is a rearrangement of Jerry Goldsmith's TMP soundtrack. And you guys all know how hardcore I am in my love for TMP. I wrote on here beautiful visuals of the edge of the galaxy. And then I wrote in 1987, I thought this episode was wonderful for the ideas of reaching to the end of the galaxy. And that's all I have in my notes, boss.
Yeah, some of those visuals were fine. The idea would have been okay if you didn't clutter it with all that garbage. It would have been, you could have, if again, they were too interested in sucking up to Wesley, putting Wesley on a pedestal like that instead of
Barf.
telling a normal story. Christopher the Super Cat, hello there, good to see you.
Hey.
Yeah, they were too busy with that crap. So it ruined any chance for this story to be even, palatable.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is that what they're trying to do is they're trying to make up for the fact that they just weren't following the Bible to begin with. We weren't supposed to come here and do this story. That's why it had to go through so many edits. I think there were 3 or 4 people involved with rewriting this, using the title where no one has gone before, and they're just making up for it by stroking the self-insert. And I don't want to watch that. No one does. And shut up, Wesley.
Yeah. Well, everyone, now we're at the point where I will ask my wonderful first officer for her rating of where no one has gone before, and then I will give mine, and then I will ask you all wonderful people yours. So, number 1, what is your rating of where no one has gone before?
C-, boss man.
Okie dokie. I give it a D as a dumb, waste, dumbass. You name it, it's there. So, all right, everyone, please give us your reviews, and if you have a comment or two, but remember, there are a lot of you in there, so if you give us an espic, it's going to make things take longer, and you're going to have to think about this episode even longer.
Yes.
All right, let me see here.
I think Eric's first out of the gate. No, Dave Bob is.
Dave Bob with a D-. Wow, I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
I said a D-.
There you go. I see. There you go. D+ for Eric K. I liked The Traveler. Yeah, he was okay. Good actor and everything. He did a good job. Why did they keep seeing illusions of others than not seeing some? All that stuff about, this universe of thought and traveling being thought. All that stuff's fine, but no, we'd rather spend time wanking about Wesley.
Yeah, and
instead of exploring it.
And the thing is Eric's right, because someone actually wrote a book. I have a copy of it called The Metaphysics of Star Trek, and this episode is in it. And precisely what Eric has illuminated here is the cause of it, in part, of this book, which is the exploration of these ideas, which we have Wesley say, because he originally was supposed to be Leslie, folks. He was supposed to be a little girl with a photographic memory. Right. Anyway, that's why I always make that slip. But we have him say it, but then it goes nowhere. It's like, why? Yep.
They mentioned. The most interesting thing is when they were hypothesizing about thought, the realm of thought and the realm of travel, all that stuff. But hell, why make a whole episode about it when we could just have we could just aggrandized Wesley for 40 minutes. Oh,
yeah.
God. Yeah. He says anyway. Illusions of others not seeing others than not seeing some makes zero sense. Why didn't they just listen to Wesley? Yeah, may as well. He's the bestest ever. He was the man of the episode. Save the day. Yay. There you go. Snorta Poopa says. C-, too much Wesley, who sucks. Yes, by the way, absolutely. Who sucks, by the way, even though he's a more better. He's more better. That's right. Than any engineer ever. Thus, his annoying promotion to acting ensign. Oh,
yeah,
bad acting ensign.
So bad.
You're
a good bear. I'm sending you little Snorty. Chin scritches.
We love you, Snort. The Enterprise has yet another. Yeah, that was so annoying. No, they just. I don't understand why they were so worried about creating a dumb character like Wesley. They create every other position, but they don't make their own Scotty right away. I mean, later Geordi became chief engineer. That's fine. That was fine. But why didn't they do that from the beginning? Yeah. It was an afterthought. They didn't think of an engineer, how important that would be. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Patty Sue's acting is showing some improvement. I would rather have the crystalline spider than Kozinski and the Traveler. Scuba Pete. C. I really enjoyed the warp core in this episode. She really shined.
You just made me do the ugly loud laugh over my mic, Scuba Pete. I love you.
I'm trying to pick something positive. This one is this pinnacle of nauseating Wesley. Now we have to be nice to him. Yeah. We're going to change this title of this episode, everyone, to Where No Wesley Has Gone Before.
Or the shiny warp core.
That too.
The shiny warp core. Love you, Scuba.
Welcome, Crazy Pineapple. Let's see here. D+, title and plot elements borrowed from the TOS pilot. The plus is for the Traveler, who I like as a character, especially in future episodes. Yeah, and again, if they should have handled him better, but yes, it could have been good. D. Bud Martin, D, as in Wesley, is duty. Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, completely.
I concur. Janet, from another planet, D, for dead on arrival. Parrothead, F. Katie Carr, but with a Fredo quote there. Rennie A, the lovely Rennie A, always loved to see you. D. Bop, bop, bop. Let's see here. 5. Okay, I almost thought that was. Oh, I got scared for a minute there, JT. That was message number 5, and I missed your first 4. 5 of 10 galaxies skipped. Why? Yep. Oh, why? Oh, why? Could the Traveler not take Wesley and do us all a favor? I'd rather deal with Kaczynski for 7 6. I'd rather have Kaczynski be the chief engineer and get rid of Wesley. Because I actually like Stanley Camel. And, he was great on Monk, and I've seen him in other stuff. And yes, he was a total weenie head, but, it's kind of, you could have made him an interesting character that way.
And his acting was so good in this episode.
Well, he's a great actor.
He was fabulous. I thought he was absolutely fabulous. You hate his guts right off the hop. He's obnoxious. He's narcissistic. He's insufferable. Played to perfection. What a waste.
Yep. And he was such a nice guy on Monk. Unfortunately passed away during one of the show. But yes, he was a good actor. It would have been better than Wesley. R1 Avalon, C-, would have been a D, but Raquel's duty ran elevated it to a C-. See, you heard her rating.
Love you, R1.
The Great Lord thought D. This was a great idea filled with Wesley crap. This could have been a lot of fun and wonder, but you're ending up being a drudge. I need some poutine.
Poutine.
Right?
Poutine. Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but you've told me, actually, but I may have forgotten.
It's delicious.
Anti-derivative Jill has an espic for us, and we love those. C. It reminds me of Shore Leave, but with the edge of the universe instead of robots. As A might have been had it. The whole point of the episode wasn't to make Picard put Wesley on the bridge. Oh God, that is so true. Oh my God. Wes knows everything about space-time, tying with thoughts before anyone else. Yeah. The worst is when Riker dismisses Wes because Riker would have been all for hearing anything against Kaczynski. So stupid.
Bad.
Oh. When you twist your script around just to fit one character, to aggrandize one, that's the things people rightly beat up on the filthy STD about. And it was being done on this show. Not to the same degree, but it's being done.
Yes, but tonight we're showing we are not hypocrites. And just so you all know, we've been complaining about this since 1987.
Everyone has. And as much as I love Gene Roddenberry, he took it. He didn't like people complaining about Wesley. He thought that people were being... Now, yes, some people were nasty to the kid. And I don't like Will Wheaton now, but he was a child back then. And people shouldn't have been nasty to him. And so that I'm not for. We just didn't like the character. We never went around and did anything bad to the actor. We were talking about the character. We hated him.
Yeah.
And that was Gene's fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, Gene's not perfect.
No, he's not.
Neither was Leonard Nimoy. You know how hard that is for me to say.
Yeah.
But we had I Am Spock and we had I Am Not Spock. And we had them in the opposite order.
I always called that second book, oh, what, that much money? Hell yes, I'm Spock. I love you. But we love you, Leonard. It's just a way to say, look at this adult who won't listen to the kid and who has been totally awesome this whole time. That is so true, Jill. It was nauseating. My favorite quote is, "Please don't interrupt me, Wesley." The polite prelude to the other quote. Yeah, shut up, Wesley.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
totally agree with Jill.
No, you're wonderful, Jill. We love you. But the only reason there is no minus is my greatest solely for the wonderful joy Worf expresses as he sees his childhood pet Targ.
Yeah, that's what I
fair
did.
enough.
I yelled Targ. Actually,
Targ.
I yelled Targ alert, and I put a huge exclamation point. It's so nice, hey?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess his family, who were Russian, gentleman and lady, sent off to Kronos to get a Targ for him. Oh, that's nice. I don't know how that worked. R. and Feliciano Raymond. D. The Traveler had potential. The repeated TOS titles are getting old. Horrible CGI. Yes, like the second in a few weeks where they had recycled the TOS title, except they changed it. Well, they changed both of them. Horrible CGI, and of course, Wesley sucks. Let's skip to the Borg. And you forgot the part where Wesley sucks again. You forgot to say Wesley sucks twice.
You have to bookend it. You just start your evaluation with Wesley sucks. Say what you want to say, and then complete it with Wesley sucks.
Exactly. Hello there, Mr. Angel. Good to see you there. Thank you for popping in. A new face. And so we always love to see new people drop in. Thank you for popping in. Polyme's Minion F due to Wesley. Wesley, not Wesley. He turned me off. He turned them all off, baby.
Yeah, I
turned
agree.
them all off. Dadman says, no rating. I'm behind, but the good news is that we just ordered the complete series. So next week, I hope that the missus and I are both here and ready. Then I see these grades and I shudder. Yeah, look, I'll tell you this, Dad, man, and everyone knows this who's watched the series.
Yeah,
it gets better. Just gotta
it
hang on.
does. It gets infinitely better. Like
Way
it gets
better.
extraordinary. But just right now,
Yeah, that's the way it is. Yes, hang in there, brother. Wesleyna, Daddy Bob Wesleyna. Oh my goodness, great Chris Pleasure. C-. Before confusing, the Traveler was interesting, but the delivery was poor, misusing the opportunity to get rid of Wesley by having him leave with the Traveler, never to return. Drops this to a D-. They waited way too long to do that, didn't they?
It's great.
Yes, sir. You're so right.
Take him away.
Wolfie 762. 3 out of 10 structural integrity of the poopy diaper at 37% and falling. Warp 10 plus. Talk is never a good idea.
No.
Wesley, groan.
Yeah, Wolfie, this is chef's kiss of a review. Just perfect, very, very concise, and just perfect, Wolfie. Perfect. Ow, ow, ow!
Yes, they did have ballerinas in that one. That's true. Katie, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, that is true.
Yep.
Oh, it is a solid C from me, says the wonderful Katie Carr. Thank you, Katie.
Boy, that's saying something. Katie is so generous. You guys have no idea how generous she is. She's like loving and caring. She treats Star Trek like a baby. It's her baby. She gave it a C. You know, it's a stinker when Katie gives it a C.
That's practically an F, Katie. We're just kidding. Yeah, we love Katie. Oh, my goodness. Martin with the C. D. Stardate 412634. Hike. Why do you have a star date there? Oh, well, maybe this is code for like Wesley sucks. Oh, yeah. Yes, everyone in binary code, that is Wesley sucks. A date that will live and infamy. Okay, I can't do that quote right. Wesley Crusher is named acting ensign, and John Luck Pickard, by John Luck Pickard, sorry.
Yep.
Gene Luck Pickard. How about that? They travel to the galaxy and don't even explore for a day or two. No, they don't explore crap. They just said, "Oh my God, we better get back. We're gonna miss everything."
Yeah, or launch a probe.
Yeah, why not launching some probes and stuff?
Like launch a like 5 or 6 probes.
Right.
Like
they debated
why?
doing it. And they even said, "Well, what if we can't get back? What is the point?" Which is a fair point. But anyway, if the Traveler was improving the engines, wouldn't the effect stop when he left the other ships? The Traveler without a towel. Yeah, that's true. Good Hitchhiker's reference. Traveler, take Wesley away now. That is the best point of all, though, Mark D. with the C. I commend you for that. Yes, if all those other starships that he supposedly improved, and yet we find out that those calculations are meaningless. They say so.
Yeah, I was going to put that in my notes. I was also going to put in
Good one.
my notes that why was he interested in propulsion? What's the connection there? There's actually no intellectual connection between those ideas. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of slapped together like a bologna and cheese, but
Right.
it's you know what I mean. It's definitely not a roast beef dinner. It's still bologna and cheese. It's a bologna and cheese of an idea.
If you can have those abilities, you can make your own little ship and go anywhere you want.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Why would
Like a
he
Time
need
Lord.
Yeah, why would he need Starfleet, right?
Think about your stories, folks. Think things through, bounce them off the wall, and go, would this make any sense, even in a fantasy or even in a science fiction, whatever you're doing? Think. The great Pat S. Buddy. D plus. I wish this episode would have been of space mice and spacemen. Tell me about the space rabbits, traveler. I don't want no more trouble from Captain Picard. Pew.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you, buddy. Let's see here.
Jill, I like bologna and cheese as well.
Zathras. As do I. Who doesn't?
Fried bologna is really good too.
Oh God, yeah. Who hasn't fried bologna? D for Zathras. I was going to watch this episode, but Netflix suggested I hit my crotch with a baseball bat repeatedly. I chose the latter. It felt better.
Oh my God.
Netflix does that. Netflix does that.
I'm so sorry that I laughed that loud into the microphone. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, everyone.
Well done. Stephen Thompson. D. This won't be the last time that Picard gets verbal with Riker in the ep where Riker gets powers. Yeah. Picard is very nasty to Will. She'll Wheaton as Leslie crush her.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Stephen Thompson. That is a very, very good review you did there, sir.
Mr. Angel, a new face here. Welcome, and I'm so happy to see you. B-. Good idea for a plot, but way too much focus on Wesley instead of a more in-depth exploration of the Traveler character. That is absolutely a great point. I think we all share it. It's like, why sacrifice any kind of interesting idea you have just to promote one character over everyone else?
Yep.
It's very bad. I think eventually, obviously, they did kind of catch on to that, but we have to suffer in the first season. Yep. I mean, for the most part. I think we got everybody. Argyle replaced McDougal. That's right. Remember, McDougal was the lady. Then Argyle. And they actually said in one episode, chief engineers.
Yep.
What do you mean? Too many chefs spoil the soup.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you didn't go in with a plan right at the beginning. You didn't have a chief engineer from get-go.
I loved McDougal as chief of security. I think that McDougal would have been great, and then give way to Worf thereafterward. But yeah, just some miscasting and just too much carrying on. It's not good.
Not a good idea. Critical, the Super Cat. I'll give it a C+. C-. Thank you. Gotcha. And again, Geordi worked out fine later, but you should have. Why not just start that at the beginning? I mean, he was at the helm, and then they just. I don't know. Let's see. I think everyone I have caught up. I think that's we're ready to move to our next episode. I believe
Steve Mitchum's here. These are the Steves I know. 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 And if you're American and you're thinking to yourself, why is she singing so terribly? That's actually how the song goes. It's a Canadian joke that I have with all the Steves. So, hello, Steves.
Indeed. Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, that's true. That's true, JT Kirk. And that was, you left it out. But yes, they should have. That is absolutely a good point. I appreciate you there. Let's see if I'm already caught. Okay, I think we're ready for our next episode. What do you think? Number one?
Let's move on. Let's move on from this poopy diaper.
Oh, right. Let me get everything situated, my friends, and we will. Okay. All right. All right. We're okay. So, bop. We are ready to move on to our next thrilling episode. Which is
Lonely Among Us, Season 1, Episode 7, air date November 2nd, 1987. And if you're following along in the block text, I should just make sure we mind our P's and Q's for copyright here. We are reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block and her husband, Terry J. Erdman, with the blessing of Ronald D. Moore. And we are on tile 37. A mission to ferry two groups of adversarial diplomats to a Federation conference is disrupted when the Enterprise passes through a strange energy cloud and inadvertently picks up a non-corporeal life form. After inhabiting several crew members' bodies, the entity decides that Picard is the most compatible host. The command crew is horrified when the joint being announced. What? When the joint being, yeah, sometimes Paula writes weird. Sorry, guys. The command crew is horrified when the joint being announces its intention to beam back to its cloud while within Picard's body. The Enterprise crew may not have been fond of the wolfish Antikins or the snake-like head Sele, but they were two of Michael Westmore's favorite first season creations. Inspired by concept art by Andrew Probert, Westmore's team created the Antikin masks in a tiny makeup lab on the Paramount lot. But due to space considerations, they sent the Sele head sculpt to a different lab for manufacture of the masks. The completed headgear looked great, but unlike the lightweight, pliable Antikin masks, they were heavy and rigid as rocks, mourned Westmore. He had time to recast only two of the Sele snake heads in lighter foam rubber prior to filming. The background actors who had to wear the heavier ones were very uncomfortable, he admits, although it appears they bore up well under the pressure. Some of the key visual effects in this episode already were familiar to fans of the era's most popular science fiction films. Cloud Tank, a large water tank used in creating a variety of atmospheric effects, primarily clouds, hence the name, of the sort seen in Close Encounters of a Third Kind, was utilized for the energy pattern cloud from which the Enterprise picks up its cosmic hitchhiker. Wow, you see what I mean about how she writes sometimes? Whew, that's a sentence. And a half. Lightning-like animated energy bolts, similar to the ones the Emperor uses on Luke Skywalker at the end of The Return of the Jedi, conveyed the otherworldly powers of the sentient cloud being. And then in the book here it says, below, an image of the havoc wrought by the cloud being energy blasts prior to the insertion of the post-production effects. The captain and cloud being has already left the bridge, but the blinded crew are not yet aware of that fact. And so we have them all posing with no lights, and it looks quite funny. And that's all the block text has to say about Lonely Among Us. What did you think of the coverage and the episode? Throwing it over to you, Clubby.
Well, interesting coverage. Andy Probert was a talented fellow. There's no question about it. Those were kind of those aliens, though. This episode, I don't know. This is one of those. I'm not really so annoyed like it was for the previous episode. I just don't think they did a very good job of. Well, first of all, this is going to be a problem with a lot of the early episodes, Next Generation, where they will have some kind of fairly interesting idea, and they will take too much time taking away from that idea with superfluous crap. And then I think doing disservice to that idea. And this is another one. They don't really explain much, and I mean that in a bad way. Sometimes you don't have to explain something. It could still be well done and still good. That's happened even in the best episodes of Trek. This episode, all the trappings and everything for your story are Trekish enough, for sure. But I don't feel like it has a satisfactory conclusion. And has a oh my God, the thing they do at the end with the transporter. Yeah, I mean, how many times are we going to use the transporter pattern thingy to bring somebody, basically bring someone back to life?
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. I will say, highlight and enjoyment of this episode for me was the Sherlock Holmes stuff, the data Sherlock Holmes stuff. I've always found that to be kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I think Spiner is really that bit I like a lot in this episode because I'm a Sherlock Holmes fan, and I thought Brent Spiner did his little obsession with Sherlock Holmes, which was down the road used later. I found that to be actually the highlight of an otherwise fairly kind of, for me anyway, routine and kind of dull episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is another stinker.
Yeah.
We had DC Fontana come in and try and clean up Michael Halperin, clean up his story, and I think she did her best, but I just it's another stinker. It's another.
Yes,
it doesn't work for me.
Absolutely, it's just kind of boring. They don't really do much of a good job of, really sinking their teeth into the whole meat of what this alien being is. It's just they go to
pun totally intended, folks.
Indeed.
When you're talking about the Anakins.
Yes. Oh God, it's some of that silly stuff with the. I don't know. I find as one thing a little far fetched is that those two races of beings could be even considered to be in the Federation.
Yeah, I mean that's
they're savage races. They're savages.
Yeah, they are,
and they're warlike.
Yeah. So why, I don't know. It does not follow. It doesn't work, and there's only so much DC Fontana can do with the teleplay. So she's responsible for the teleplay, but not the story. And it is disappointing, And I will say this, that of course, as you know, as a licensed makeup artist, when I was quite young, just a teenage girl, I wanted to get into special effects makeup. You know this. I've mentioned this many times before, but for those of you at home who aren't familiar, so I absolutely love Michael Westmore. I love cosplay. I love this whole idea of making these beautiful aliens. But this was our grand opportunity to highlight the universal translator. There was no reason for the Antikins to try and move their mouths to English. It just wasn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? And so it's interfering with the suspension of the unreal world. And it's so disappointing. And yeah, totally unbelievable that these folks are in the Federation.
They look like lost in space aliens.
Yeah, and what was portrayed as a weakness in the episode could have actually have been portrayed as a strength if Cliff Bole or Bole, however he wants to pronounce it, if he would have directed it in a way in which it could have facilitated the weaknesses as strengths. And all the raw material was here to do that.
Yes, absolutely. It's just, again, it's more of the last episode is annoying in so many ways. This one's more, besides, like I said, I don't know why, I just got a kick out of Spiner, but just found it boring.
Yeah.
And this crap at the end with the transporter. We got to stop that because I was talking to my good buddy Mark D.C. about this last night. We were talking about this very thing. Like, okay, all right.
Why didn't you guys call me? You guys were talking about the episode. You didn't call me? How late was this?
It was very late and we didn't want to bug you. You were busy.
All right. I'll let you off now. But Mark D with a C.
Oh, it's all his fault.
Totally kidding. Anyways, sorry to interrupt you, Captain. What were you guys talking about?
We're just saying, you know what? Oh, I cut my leg off. Let me put me through the transporter. It has my original pattern in there, so I can have my leg back.
That's my problem with it, and that's always been my problem with it, and that's why I don't like using it. I don't like bringing it up. I think it's crap, and it's totally annoying. And no one even needs to die in the transporter if that's the science of it, because one just would just need to revert to an earlier version of whatever was in the pattern buffer and match it to that previous beam-in pattern. And so it's
especially
just
with injuries.
Yeah, injuries, death, disease.
Even disease. I mean, that's it. You got the miracle cure there.
Yes.
Don't do that in one episode and then leave it, then ignore it every other time until you just feel like using it.
Yeah,
Bad.
when Worf is stabbed in his heart, put him through the transporter.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
When
why
the
not?
Chancellor is shot, put him through the transporter. I mean, it's just at this point, I think that the problem is you have science fantasy people and science fiction people working together on a science fiction project, and so this is why. This is why I sort of like wondered if TNG was going to be any good, because it does have these violent swings sometimes betwixt the hard science fiction where astrophysicists were called in, that there was a discussion about the veracity of what's being said, and then you have this other huge swing where it's just science fantasy and it's just babble, and they're using science as though it is to rescue crappy writing.
It would make more sense if this powerful alien entity had just returned Picard back when it realized that it was a being that couldn't exist out there. That would have been more Star Trek-ish. Then you don't have to explain it, because as I've always said, there's some things that don't need explaining in an interesting story. If you're going to fall back on, well, that's just a science that's above ours, I don't have a problem with that when you do it. I don't have, because I've never had it. Just like we don't need the Guardian of Forever explained to us.
I was just going to use the Guardian of Forever as an example.
We don't need the Doomsday Machine explained to us necessarily. We don't need a lot of things if it's above our pay grade in terms of technology. If it's above us, fine. That would, and this is a powerful being that was an entity that didn't realize it was hurting anyone, and it just puts Picard back on the ship. That's better than the transporter crap.
Yeah. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. So, notes.
Yeah,
I almost forget the notes sometimes.
All right, here we go. DC Fontana was now openly speaking in interviews and conventions about what she called, and I quote, the Wesley problem. So she was publicly speaking about it at conventions, on panels, and in interviews. And I quote, the Wesley problem. In 2006, Will Wheaton lashed out against Fontana for this and said her writing was terrible. Ugh. Even though she didn't write this, Michael Halperin wrote this, and DC Fontana, Dorothy, did the teleplay. Patrick Stewart switching from Parliament to Parliament. Is very annoying. Is he looking for attention? So it's very important for me to qualify this in saying both are correct, but to give the British pronunciation and then the American pronunciation and to go between them, I just think he's looking for attention, and he just needs to get over himself. The famous, now infamous, humans no longer eat meat episode, the Riker speech. If you play Star Trek trivia, I want you to know that you should note that Lonely Among Us is when Riker gives that speech about how we no longer enslave animals to consume them. Mm-hmm. My next note is the love-hate relationship Trekkies have with Sherlock Data. Some love him, some hate him. I'm not sure what I think and feel. I've been a Star Trek fan for, a very long time. I have gone back and forth since 1987 over whether or not I may or may not like Sherlock Data. And then we have the upwind from the Antikins. What is this? The prairies in Canada? There is no wind on a starship. There is a ventilation system. And then I have in my notes, a sing in engineering. He should have been a regular character. And he would have made a wonderful. Yeah, he would have made a wonderful assistant assistant chief engineer. And of
Mhm.
course, he's played by Kavi Raz, and he's a Punjabi guy, so he is an actual Singh. Well, he doesn't use Singh as his last name, but he is Punjabi. And when I was young, I thought it was great because so many of my friends were Punjabi. I thought it was so wonderful to see a Punjabi person on screen. So I was so disappointed when they killed Singh for no reason. Data, why doesn't Data know Private Eye? Why wouldn't he know Private Eye? And Wesley knowing more than everyone. And then I put a colon and then yelling all caps, barf, with an exclamation point. Then the magic of the transporter. And also I put weird final scene. Picard is a nincompoop in the final scene. Picard dumps all of the diplomacy, the murder, and the cannibalism on Riker. I mean, there's an act of cannibalism. They actually boiled one of the delegates' heads and they were going to eat it, even though apparently they're supposed to eat it fresh. I don't know. So that parting scene, it was a big for me. And yeah, it's annoying. And those are all my notes, Captain.
Well, Ted Millich, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, nice to see you.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you know that we have a breaking news development going on?
What?
Everyone, I'll flash it on the screen. This just came over the news wire, everyone.
What?
Yes, I'll this is very disturbing stuff, folks. I must report to you. CT breaking news. Wesley sucks. Repeat. Wesley sucks. More later. Thank you. Oh, yeah. And Wesley sucks. Wow. Well, I think we all knew that, didn't we? Not really a news story.
Yeah.
Sorry. Fake, real news, but yeah, everyone knew it.
It's on the ticker. If you're participating in this as a podcast and you're not participating in the live chat, Captain Clobby has put it in the ticker.
Well,
Wesley sucks. Repeat. Wesley sucks.
I just want to keep everyone up to date. Yes. We will update you on this developing story, folks. This has been developing for almost 35 years now that Wesley indeed sucks.
Yes. Hardcore sucks.
Oh, the humanity.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. So, well, everyone, I tell you what, this episode, again, more of a snoozer for me than anything else. So I'm going to ask all of my wonderful first officer for your rating of Boring Among Us.
C-.
Wow,
Sorry.
we have the same rating.
It's just crap. It's so bad. Downwind. I mean, what kind of wind are we talking about here? Are we talking about meat toots? I don't know. What wind? I mean, just cannibalism. Picard's a nincompoop. There's just so much.
They got cannibals that they're going to let into the Federation. I hope when they got to Parliament, they turned them around and said, "I'm sorry." Oh, yeah. Every time he said Parliament, I'm like, well, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. And this is the thing, this is the problem that I have with Patty Stew is, especially in his pee hard. He's always putting, like, he's affectatious. Like, he puts on airs just because he has a British accent. And it doesn't wash with Canadians. We don't care. We don't care. You can't. You can disguise a multitude of narcissism and affectation in a British accent, but not in Canada. In Canada, we say no, goodbye.
Oh my goodness. Well, I also give it a C-. And now I will ask our friends in the chat, please give us your ratings of Lonely Among Us. Us.
The Sele.
We will keep you all abreast of further news about that breaking story.
Zathras.
Oh. Oh, wow. Is that the first one?
No, I just really liked it because I could actually hear him saying it like he was saying boing, 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 boing. So I thought it was amusing.
I love it. No, that's it, though. Yeah. I think that's the first one. I just wanted to try and look for it. Yeah, so Zathras says, F, boring, 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 boring. I think I've made my true feelings known. Boring. Yes, boring is almost worse than bad sometimes, I gotta tell you. D for Raven Feliciano. This is further proof that Sting in Dune is a much better actor than Patty Stew. Tiresome transporter trope, nothing to see here. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally agree, Raymond. Totally agree.
Absolutely, sir. Arwen says a rating 4 out of 4 raspberries. Utter tripe.
Yes, beautiful. I totally agree.
Absolutely. Stephen Thompson, grade Z, almost a poopy diaper. Many Steves are signing these. These are the Raquels I know.
I love you, Stephen. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Pat S, D-. Wow, they're worse on it than we are. I love it. Pat, let's see. I like the Lightning in this episode. You know, the Lightning was a great character. I got to admit, very well written character, unlike the rest of them. I keep looking for a headless immortal on the bridge, but bridge that's from Highland. Connery plays a Spaniard. No, I think you mean Highlander, buddy. Plays a Spaniard, and doesn't even try to hide his accent. We should watch. Oh, hang on, I gotta find your other one there, brother. Where are you? Where's your other one, man? Well, I'll get to your second one. I can find it, man. It's way down there, bub.
Hey, you Muslim uncle. Good evening, fine sir. Thank you so much for stopping in. Nice to see you.
Your Muslim uncle, good to see you. Thank you. I'm my chat's backwards, so I can't see it yet. So, Pat, I'll get to that one. To be continued.
Yes, to be continued, folks.
Okay, so let's see here. Where are we at now? Sorry, everyone. D-Bob. Let's see here, my buddy D-Bob. D+ mashup of Star Trek: The Motion Picture and TOS Journey to Babel. The first season really sucked. Been a while since I've seen this episode. I need to start watching these before y'all review them.
Yeah.
The word need might be kind of strong, but we definitely like misery loves company. So if you join us, buddy.
And not only that, Dave Bob, you've caught on to what our master plan was, because our overarching theme was to celebrate it by rewatching it. And so we would be honored if you would rewatch with us, because that's where we're trying to put our energy. So here, hit the books, and we'll see you back here and hear everything you think and feel.
Indeedishness. Snortapubas, the one of two here. C-, dogs and lizards. Antikas and Selaeans do not get along together. As for the food replicators, as a polar bear, I must protest the absence of real meat aboard the Enterprise. Well, that's a polar bear would do that.
Yeah.
Snort, I got to find your second one. Oh, there we go. It's kind of tough when people have two-parters. I miss other. Let's see. Transporter shenanigans happen again as the pattern buffer saves the day for Picard. Yes, the USS pattern buffer.
Yes. The good news is that once you monetize your channel, they'll be able to put in more comments because the comments expand once you have it monetized. They can do super chats. So pretty soon, once we get all that done, everyone will be. It will be so much easier for everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's monetized, folks, but I haven't had a chance to put it together because I don't really know how we're working on it.
We're going to do it together tonight, everyone.
Crazy Pineapple says, D+, not a memorable episode by choosing Picard, the cloud cast doubt on itself in being an intelligent life form. Whoa. Good one. And the second up, that's the follow-up to Pat S. We should watch Highlander next week instead of the rest of the season one. I'll think about it, man. Well, I do like the first Highlander a little bit. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I do like the first Highlander.
Yeah, the second one is I'm never watching.
Anti-derivative Jill just said good night, Janet from another planet. Thanks for the tip off, Jill. Janet, are you leaving, sweetheart? If you are, have a good evening. Mwah, mwah. I'm blowing you kisses. Thank you so much for stopping in and supporting the channel and supporting the show. We appreciate you so very much. I'll see you next week, I hope.
Oh yes, love to you, Janet, from another planet. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. You have a wonderful night. C- for Scuba Pete, the whole Enterprise is hauling dignitaries around again is worn out too. Yeah, it is, but starships are gonna have to do that kind of crap. But it's worn out. Two species that hate each other. What could go wrong? P.S. Wesley sucks. You got yes, absolutely. And again, I just don't see. I mean, I'm not talking about the way they look. They just look, whether they look goofy or not. That's beside the point. They don't strike me as Federation candidates.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not at all. They're more like they're savages.
Yeah, and people have been thrown out of the Federation for less.
Absolutely, Federation is a pretty elite club there. D for the great Eric K. I wonder what Soleil tastes like. Jordy proves he knows nothing of warp engines. They do not fix themselves. Crusher, new Picard, was joined and said nothing. Stupidest crew ever. No clues followed. Absolutely.
Agreed. How could you disagree with that? Perfect, Eric.
Yes, indeed. Wolfie. 1 of 2 rating. 4 out of 10. Cobra versus Dog People. Woof. Okay, we got like how many main stories do we have? Do we have going on here? Like 3. They did that a lot, and that was one of the things. Even back then, I was criticizing this show about. It's like, my God, when you have 3 stories, you have none. It's like the saying that they have about. You can do multiple things in the story, but when they talk about a football team and say, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But when you have 2 or 3 stories, you have none because you can't focus on a good one. You could have subplots, but they
should complement and they should make the story feel more full, as though that his commitment to those distractions increase the thrill of knowing it's not him, but they don't even maximize on it. It's just there. It's just inert, like the gas coming out of this episode. There's a lot of gas coming out of this episode.
2 of 2. Fun fact: this is where we got those first Galoob alien action figures from. Oh, okay, yeah, just 1 episode long. I do like the aliens and the early Data Holmes moments. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've always liked the Data Holmes stuff. That's just me. Solar Poopas Part 2. I think we got to that one. I think we did that one. Ted Millich. I don't. D. I don't really remember it. Well, you're better off, sir. Mark D with a C. C- did Pure Energy. P Hard finally realized hitchhiking without a towel is a bad idea. Yes. I don't want to be invited over to dinner on the Enterprise to eat meat inorganically materialized out of transporter patterns. Do yourself a favor and watch Journey to Babel instead. Yes.
Yeah.
Well said.
And the fact is that when Decker did this in TMP, he understood fully what he was doing. He had time to mull it over. He had time to decide. Picard showed no sign of wanting to be a non-corporeal life form. And when Deanna has a conversation with him, and the teleplay portrays it as though Picard is speaking for himself. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rehashing how much I hate it. I'm sorry, everyone. Just
anti-derivative Jill. We always appreciate you being here. 1 of 5 here. C+. I enjoy the idea of a mysterious energy life form, and all of the techno babble was lovely, but I wish we had a little more time to communicate with it than with the delegates. Yes, because they took all the time away from it, which is not smart. The alien delegate design is fantastic, even though it doesn't follow that such violent creatures could stand a chance to be in the Federation. Data's interest in Sherlock Holmes is born.
I love Jill.
Jill's amazing. I like that the alien's presence is an accident rather than a malicious. I agree with that.
Yes.
As was the death of our first gold shirt, even though he was wearing red, wasn't he?
Singh?
Anyway, no, he may have been gold. Yeah, Mr. Singh. I'm sorry, you're right. Gold shirt because he was engineering. My bad.
Mm-hmm. I also like how Singh doesn't take any crap from Wesley. He's like, "Get out of here, kid.
He's like,
go to
do your
school.
homework.
Scat, get out of here,
nice,
kid."
He was polite, but he's like, go to school.
Yeah, I love Singh. I think he's
like
great.
Singh.
He should have been a regular character.
He had to die because we needed Wesley instead. That alien just missed the mark. What if Data were wrong about Picard's energy being in the transporter? Why would they have just beamed an empty shell without Picard's consciousness or nothing because the physical was now energy?
Yeah.
Good point. No one seems too concerned with the Antikins that when the Antikins are having some Soleil for dinner. Where one storyline is wrapped up, the other is left to be handled by the first officer off screen. That was really sloppy stuff.
Dumb. That also bothered me. That's why I put it in my notes. I love how you think, Jill. That that's totally annoying.
Very well said, Jill. We always appreciate you. Absolutely. Very sloppy stuff there. Mr. Angel, D-. The use of the transporter as Deus Machina was uninspired and a clear case of plot armor. That is absolutely the case.
And if you're thinking about correcting Clubby for how he just pronounced Latin, don't. It just means God in the machine. And you should say it the Greek way anyway. So nobody be mean to Clubby.
Did I say it bad? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Look, my Latin is terrible.
Did I say it badly? I mean,
no, it's okay.
It would figure. No,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got your back. That's why I'm the first officer.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, but you could, if you ever, I could take correcting. Most of TNG was bad, but Raquel almost makes it sound worth rewatching. Parrothead. The great Lord Thoth, buddy. D- for Lord Thoth. This is another simply bad episode. A lot of science gets thrown out into the void.
Yeah.
But this one makes zero sense. Terrible acting and terrible Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's such a good review.
J.T. Kirk, 3 members of the House of Lords out of 5. Picard's feet on the desk is very uncaptainly of him. Only thing you could add to that is letting him smoke a pack of parliaments in his office.
JT Kirk, we do love you. We do love you.
Let's see. I think we've got them all, but we will double check here because you never know. I'm way behind my chat. I have to stop my chat, so I'm not seeing anything new at the moment. Everyone, I've got 10 minutes behind on my chat. I would give this one another C. The prosthetics were too 80s Labyrinth or Dark Crystal, and the storyline a bit too fantasy fictional than science fiction. From the wonderful Katie Carr.
Yep, you got it,
I
honey.
hear you, Katie.
I agree.
I'm with you.
Yep, and they accentuated that the prosthetics were not believable, and I think that they could have actually transformed that into something really cool through use of explaining the universal translator, the way their mouths worked, the shape of their mouths, the fact that their mouths were not timed to the English or human English, and I totally agree, Katie.
Take care, Liger fan. Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, good night, Liger fan.
I think we got him. I think we're up to speed now. What about Montana and Steve Young? I reject. No. You got to have one quarterback, dude. I mean, Steve Young supplanted Montana, and he was a thorn in his side, and he drove him to be better. But still, you got to have one quarterback, buddy. Don't worry, I'm gonna do a football show one of these days again. All right. And then I'm going to have to school you apparently about football history, buddy. It's just so I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, buddy. All right. Well, all right. I think we are up to our. Let me fix that.
It's okay.
Let's see, Raquel can make War and Peace, and then of course you can.
Love you, Parrothead.
No doubt about it. Okay, everyone, we're ready for our next episode. I do believe
we are.
Are we not?
Yeah, and we're not going in production order. We are going in broadcast order. So we are now on Justice. I also call this episode The Apple, and I also call this episode BEM. So Justice, also known as The Apple, also known as BEM, is from season 1, episode 8, original air date November 9th, 1987. And if you're following along in the block text to keep us copyright compliant, I am reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block and her husband, Terry J. Erdman, blessed by the wonderful Ronald D. Moore. And we are on tile or brick number 39. The planet Rubicon 3 seems to be the perfect place for a bit of rest and recreation, a pastoral paradise populated by the scantily clad Edo, who believe in living life to its sensual heights. But if the rules governing the attainment of pleasure on Rubicon are simple, so are the rules for breaking the law. Death is the sentence for any and every infraction, even tromping on some flowers, which is acting Ensign Wesley Crusher's crime, leaving Captain Picard with the difficult choice between upholding the Prime Directive or saving Wesley's life. What do the crew of the Enterprise D employees and the Los Angeles City Sewage Department, comedian Pauly Shore, students of Starfleet Academy, and Austin Powers have in common? They've all visited, filmed at, or beamed down to the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant in LA's San Fernando Valley. The futuristic-looking facility was designed by Mr. Tillman, LA's senior engineer from 1972 to 1980, as a sanctuary where the public could enjoy peaceful surroundings while just beneath their feet, tunnels, pipes, and filtering equipment removed organic and inorganic particles from 40 million gallons of incoming wastewater every day. The landscape, including a lovely 6.5-acre Japanese garden, which is more prominently featured in other TNG episodes, is open to the public and not coincidentally to movie and TV producers, or TV production crews, but as lovely as Riker and his away team found this portion of Rubicon 3, it is not the most beautiful park in Los Angeles. That distinction arguably belongs to Huntington Botanical Gardens, 23 miles to the east, the location used as the setting for Wesley's misadventure in one of the Edo's forbidden zones. Open to the public since 1919, what was once a railroad and utility magnate, Henry Huntington's private ranch has, over the past century, evolved into a living public showcase of outdoor beauty. 120 acres featuring over 14,000 varieties of plants and 14 distinct gardens. Wesley's disastrous game of catch was shot near the lily ponds. The first garden established at the gardens. This lady, she writes so weird. And home to turtles, bullfrogs, and koi. On any given day, garden visitors will find sights nearly as entrancing as those that greeted Riker's away team, although greetings from Huntington docents likely won't be quite as effusive as those on Edo. So they won't be horny. And that is all the block text has to say about justice. A little bit of rough writing here, and we know that Paula is guilty of that sometimes. But other than that, what did you think of the block text coverage on this episode, boss?
Well, one thing I've always kind of wondered about this episode was I was wondering if the Edo, is that a take on the Eloy from H.G. Wells' Time Machine?
I don't know.
That's what that race of innocent people, innocents that the Morlocks were terrorizing, were called the Eloy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, but anyway, I'll say this for this. Here's some things I'll say for this episode. First of all, finally a planet I want to visit. For once, Wesley causes the trouble.
Yes.
At least, I mean, I don't want him there at all, but at least he's actually the cause of the damn trouble.
But he's always the center of attention. It's so annoying.
Yes, or at least he was for a bit in this one, for a small bit. Actually, if you notice, he caused the trouble, but he was kind of kept out of it. I'm going to actually surprise a few people with this one. This actually has the crux of an interesting idea that they didn't necessarily handle particularly well, because you start out with all this Edo down there, and look, we all those of us who like looking at the hot chicks, that's fine, but people like to look at the, those who want to look at the dudes, that's fine. It does make the episode kind of goofy because of it.
Yeah.
I thought the idea of the interdimensional being and all that stuff with that being and everything, actually with the Enterprise, I thought was fairly good Trek stuff as far as a Trek idea. This is the first episode. And back when I first saw it, I just laughed at it because of the stupid crap with the way the Edu look, the whole crap about Wesley getting, the trouble, but also the idea of the laws and everything and the concept of this interdimensional being.
Yeah.
Keeping these people, that was pretty Trekish. It was definitely the apple.
It is the apple, and it's also Bem.
Yeah, it's Bem and the apple.
And if you're wondering what we're talking about at home, and you're not like hardcore lunatics like Clobby and I are, the apple is a TOS episode, season 2, episode 5, and Bem is TAS, so the animated series, season 2, episode 2. Anyways, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Clobby.
No. It's just I thought this was the first time I've seen something where Wesley, yes, even though he did cause the trouble, he's not there a lot other than that for that scene to happen then a little bit later. And then for the most part, it's Picard dealing with this and the Enterprise dealing with this God concept. I like actually when he brings the girl aboard the ship, and she is that bit that they kind of used in a later episode that was much better called Who Watches the Watchers, where they bring a primitive on board and they think they're gods.
Yep.
Again, there are a lot of good Trek components and story elements to this. It mainly comes off as silly because it's hard not to snicker and laugh at how silly it is on that planet. I mean, I'm guilty of it as anyone else, but I didn't really hate this one like I did the last couple. I got to admit, I don't think it's perfect or really great or anything, but I actually thought there's actually something of a Trek story that is fairly more straightforward and makes more sense than the last couple ones.
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty cheesed off at it because, of course, it goes directly against the Bible. We're not supposed to be doing this. We're not supposed to be revisiting old episodes, and here we are. Not only is Justice the apple, but Justice is Bem.
And Bem sucks.
You could almost and Bem is a terrible episode. But the thing is like you could almost hear Nichelle Nichols's voice in The God, and you look at Riven and Leodor, and you think, wow, when are you going to feed Vol?
Yeah, and then the thing about that, again, what makes this episode really fall flat is that I'm sorry. I understand what they were trying to do, with the Edo, the way they look, but it's just so cornball and it's so silly. It's kind of cringy.
Yep, it is.
You're not supposed to be cringy. I mean, I don't think and the apple, they look very similar, I don't really cringe during the apple, but I guess because you got Kirk and crew there, and this, of course, wasn't a tired retread at that point, and it was fine that the people on the planet look kind of I don't know, they look pretty dopey even back then, but it just. You had far more credibility with that episode than you have here. I just simply say that some of the stuff in the last half of the episode dealing with the alien and the concept of this alien controlling this primitive, I don't know, it didn't bother me as much as the other episodes. I still think it's goofy, though. It's a goofy episode.
That. Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not good or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not good.
So, notes.
Okay, here are my notes, folks. Edo's God. The nature and origin is never addressed. We have Vol on Gamma Triangula 6. Nichelle Nichols' unnamed God on, and I'm going to slip in and out of Greek here. Sorry, Delta Theta 3. But in English, I know you guys say Delta Theta 3. But it's Delta Theta. Anyway, it's 115 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and Wesley is dressed for an Arctic expedition. Now I'm going to be vulgar, and I do apologize for the following base comments. It is not in my character. However, it is required in this particular circumstance. I wrote in my notes, wow, so much moose knuckle, so much ninja boot, so much camel toe. And then my next
man.
comment is Picard brings an inhabitant aboard to meet her god, revealing God is mechanized, an alien in orbit. Troy even promises her at one point that she will not be harmed by her god. And then I put, huh? With a question mark in yelling all caps. Prime directive much? Then my next note is, please, just give them Wesley.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Picard is always annoyed with Data. And if you like the filth, perhaps you should watch Justice, because P-Hard is always annoyed with Data. And here we get a primer for the coming Measure of a Man speech.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. And also, I wrote on the back of my notes here that I've always been sort of angry with the fact that they borrow from McCoy. So at 12 minutes and 2 seconds into this particular episode, P-Hard says, why has everything become a something or a whatever when discussing the entity as it is on the bridge, right? When it comes to Data. But we know this is a shameless ripoff of McCoy, who says, why is any object we don't understand always called a thing? And that is what McCoy says upon his beam in on TMP. So once again, we have them defiling the almighty Bible. And you hear these people talk at conventions, and these people have written books, and they do podcasts, and they're forever whining about this, that, and the other. But they did not obey the Bible of the show. If they just would have obeyed the Bible of the show, all of these stinkers, all of these poopy diaper episodes would not exist.
Oh, but they didn't. They transgressed.
Justice is the apple. It's BEM. It's Measure of a Man. It's TMP. Can you think of anything on your own, folks? Like, do you think maybe you could write a show on your own? You have a Bible to do it. Follow the Bible.
That's why I don't know how the show survived. Every time I think with 7 seasons, I can't even imagine it. Because there are a lot of great stuff later, but how it got there is mind-boggling. And all these episodes we've been doing this past 2 weeks, how this show made it past a season. And if it had been, and if it had been on network television instead of syndicated, it would not have lasted a season.
Yeah, I prefer Risa. I would just like to say, for the record, I prefer Risa.
I would love to go to Risa.
I would love to go to Risa. I would probably never leave Risa. And I would probably never wear clothes. It would just be Risa all day long, especially because, we don't have to worry about currency. Basically it's like it's Cancun without crime. Take me to Risa. That's where I want to go. We're done.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what is your rating of Just Ass?
This is a D. This is a D because of the apple, because of BEM, because this is a warm-up to Measure of a Man, because I could almost hear Nichelle Nichols, and I wanted to go feed Vol, and don't mess with McCoy. D.
I love it when you trash an episode. I got a C- on this one because I like the chicks. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding about that. The biggest problem with this episode, actually, you could actually give it an F if you want, because they didn't, they saved Wesley for a change. He was saving them, and now they save him.
But he's still the center of attention. Just give them Wesley.
That's what I'm saying. Let him die. I said, I'm sorry, Wesley, but you broke the law. Goodbye.
Yeah. I'm sorry that we're going to have to obey the Prime Directive here. Look, kid, we've decided we're just going to leave you here. But first, we're going to go to this orgy with all of these camel toes and moose knuckles and ninja boots, and then we're going to be on our way. Bye, Wesley. Sorry.
Oh, shite. Well, everyone is jumping the gun with the ratings. I didn't ask for your ratings yet, folks. But
wait.
Because we have a breaking news story, guys. Come on. Here it is. Everyone, breaking news. I hate that. Again. This just in. Breaking news, everyone. This is a CT news alert. Wesley sucks. Repeat. Wesley sucks. More later. Thank you. Oh, and Wesley sucks. We will have more, unfortunately, for 7 more seasons.
This has been a CT news alert.
Yes. Any more further developments, we will report on immediately. By the way, everyone, Wesley freaking sucks. Just so you'll know. All right, my friend. Just your ratings. Let me see. I think we have. Let me find it. Dave Bob. There we go. I hope you're the first one, Dave Bob. I think you are. Okay. C, another bad TOS copy. The costumes were so terrible. I never thought any of TOS costumes were bad. I kind of did think the ones in Wink of an Eye are pretty horrible. And actually, and Mark of Gideon. Oh, and then there's, never mind, but still, I hear
Clubby.
Let me make sure that was the first one. Bop, bop, bop. Let's see. Cavatino, Cavalman Clay, good to see you.
Hey, welcome.
They did not invite you after to this episode. I don't know how they skipped you on that one. Where's my next rating? Hang on, we're getting there, folks. Bop, bop, bop.
I wonder how many times Leader had to go, or Jay Loudon, or Luden. I wonder how many times he had to go for like a full wax before putting on those shorts. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's just and usually that sort of thing should make you feel enamored. You know what I mean? Instead, it's just there's just so much cringe. I mean, look at the picture of him there. Like,
I'd rather not.
It's just so much cringe, so much bunching. Yeah, there's.
I just want chicks on there.
I mean, look at that. I mean, and Wesley when he meets that young woman. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Anything but Wesley in there. Yeah. D plus for Lord Thought, simply because the hedonistic atmosphere made me smile. Even with the 90s hairstyle, swingers, 24th century style, where's the Guardian Forever? I'm there. Wesley sucks more. By the way, does anyone remember that? Has anyone thought recently that Wesley sucks? Mr. Angel, big fat F for the plot, A plus for eye candy perks and the cheesy TOS feeling.
Right, Jill? And you know how to play some kind of games.
Oh,
do you have
my God.
Like, do you have a big stick, like about this big? Yeah, so I can clobber you over the head with it. Where is Captain Caveman when you need him? And somewhere Scuba Pete is yelling, Captain Caveman!
He's probably saying, Captain Cave! C minus for Pat S. Bad episode of TNG. No, really? Really? Is there no bad episodes? Okay, there are. Worst episode of Miami Vice. Looks like someone found an old box of rejected TOS costumes and decided to put on a vacation Bible school play for
what kind of
mediocre.
What kind of Bible?
I don't know.
I don't know what to say.
That's true. Wesley. He does suck. That's for sure. Zathras says D, because we almost got Wesley that's the worst part. If he'd have been killed, this would have been the greatest episode ever made. Wesley put to death. My sewage treatment plant doesn't look anything like this plant, but it's better than this episode. D, bud.
You are on fire tonight, Zathras.
F, for failing to take advantage of the perfect solution to the Wesley problem. That's good enough for me.
D, Bud Martin, I love you.
That's a good review there. Stephen Thompson. D, well, at least we did not get a Wesley hookup story.
Yeah.
And he didn't save the day for once. Not enough because there were a couple of cuties. Baseball across the universe. Great work, Claudia and Raquel and Lady Raquel on the Doomcock show. Well, thank you for that, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Shout out to the great Doomcock. I had a wonderful time, and I know Raquel did too. It was wonderful.
Yeah, he's a wonderful person.
We love our buddy Doomcock. Thank you so much.
Do.
Hail, future ruler of Earth. Steve Mitchum, that's a good rating. Wesley sucks. his rating.
just had enough of this crap.
Feliciana. This just in, Wesley sucks D. Whoa, 1 out of 1, 5 Spurbies. Injustice shows that Pucard is a prime directive apologist. The women's outfits keep it from an F. Syndication saved this series. Wesley totally saved it. The show, no way this lasts on American network television in 1987. Not a chance. Syndication, they were smart to syndicate it. That's for sure. But it's also because they had no faith in it lasting on network television. It's a miracle this show got a full 1 season, much less 7. Okay, a miracle. Because back then, if the show didn't do well, if it were on a network, they'd cut it in 13 episodes or less. They'd just chop it. It's gone.
Yep.
Sarnapubus Kueller, D+. What a lovely planet full of frolicking, scantily clad escapees from the 1960s commune. Who in their enlightened way apply the death penalty for any crime? Well, they don't. It was that being, but yeah. But you're right, Storm. I'm saying that was actually done by that stupid being that was controlling these people that we never find out why.
Yeah. So
once again, advanced interdimensional beings don't mind being worshipped as gods by a primitive civilization.
Yeah.
Picard passes up an opportunity to rid us of Wesley.
Yeah.
They did use it again for Deep Space Nine, didn't they? Pretty much. Interdimensional beings.
Look. And now you frightened him. Yeah, I'm glad he's scared. Now give him the injection.
Kill the little weasel. Eric K, C-. Wesley is a full-on dorkfish.
He is.
Did not listen to stop. Did not listen and stop. Ruined the flowers and said, "I'm okay." Preachy. I'm okay. Preachy. We do not have the death penalty.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we don't have the death penalty. Yeah, we should reinstate it for Wesley. No crimes. Crime sounds good. Picard bringing her to the ship had more.
Yeah.
Is that it? Had more.
Yeah, it's just and that's important to say. So here Wesley is not a geek, and he is not a nerd, and I hope that Gene Roddenberry was not the dorkfish that Wesley is, and I highly doubt that he was, because he was quite a ladies' man, and women really liked him, and he got some hot chicks. So, but yeah, dorkfish, perfect word. Love it, love it, love it. And I love you, Eric.
Crazy Pineapple. F. This episode fails because Wesley survives. You could use it as a get off my lawn meme. Yeah, look, let me tell you something. If Wesley was in The Wrath of Khan, as great a movie as that, it would be the worst movie ever made, and it's a great movie. Just for him being in it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
J.T. Kirk, C+, but if they had followed law and gotten rid of Wesley, it would have been A+. It'd have been my favorite episode of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Snort. What's good invention? Oh, yeah, okay, we got that one. Well,
yeah.
God, there we go. Wolfie, 4 out of 10, poopy stain and sentence shorts that show off your unmentionables. There's enough side boob in here to fill a space cruiser. Good Empire Strikes Back quote. The crew should have just replicated a crate of Nair into trade for the Suckley's life.
This may be the Wolfie. This may be the best comment of the evening. 4 out of 10 poopy satin shorts that show off your unmentionables. There's enough side boob in here to fill a space cruiser. The crew should have just replicated a crate of Nair to trade for Suckley's life. This is the best. Wolfie, this is great. Love it.
Everyone has the same rating. F, but if they would have executed Wesley, it would be an A+. See that opening, all those opening, the scene on the planet, the opening crap, or with all that stuff, kills any kind of credibility you have anyway, because it's so goofy. It's like, wow, it's embarrassing. I mean, I love looking at hot chicks and all that stuff, but I mean, you could just do that anyway. I love Brenda Bakey. I've always loved her, but
Yeah. But why did they put that terrible wig on her, though? It
I
looks
do
so
not
bad.
understand
Just
the
let her have her
wigs.
own hair. And she has such lovely, dainty hands and such a beautiful body.
Yeah.
She's such a gorgeous lady. I don't understand why they put that weird wig on her. It looks so bad. She looks like she should be judging a court in the 1600s. Where did they get that? You know what I mean? Were they digging in the tickle
Oh,
trunk on the
man.
Paramount lot? And they just pick some roaches and a rat off that and put it on her head? It's terrible. Why would you do that to a beautiful woman?
Don't understand. I don't understand. The more we review these episodes, the more it mind boggles me that this thing survived.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love
Katie
you. I'm sorry.
Katie Carr D. The costumes were too risque and cheapened the show.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been better not to air something like this. Not my cup of tea or coffee. Mm-hmm. However, an example of how the show got better after this. A great example of that, Katie. I'll give you that one.
And see, my ballerina has lived up to her reputation. Katie always finds the silver lining. I love you, Katie.
You rock, Katie. Principal the Super Cat. Hello there. Was C+. I was scared as a little kid about the death via get off my lawn. Also, because at my really young age, this is one of the things that told me I was straight.
Oh,
there
okay.
You go. Well, I get you there.
I get you there. I totally understand.
Yeah. Well, hey, for me, it was Batgirl and Judy Robinson in Lost in Space, so I got you. Let's see here. Annie Driven Jill says, D+, awkward sensual greetings. A TOS style godlike alien. Riker and Troy show incompetence at researching the laws of the world. There's a very good point, Jill. You think they would have known that little detail about the law? So it was crappy, really crappy research. I mean, they need to be reduced in rank for that.
Dereliction of duty.
You got the whole ship in trouble because you're dumbasses.
Yeah.
And then you got Wes. Actually, maybe they did know and they just wanted to get Wesley killed. I don't know now. I may have to rethink that. As much fun as it is to see Wes get in trouble and see people run around half naked, this episode is just not the best, except it is funny. Worf shines despite the idiocy.
Yeah.
Nice
I love Michael Dorn.
Nice planet.
But I did find it a little, like Jill, I don't know how you feel, but I did find it a little bit odd that he loved that very gentle and sensual embrace upon beaming down to the planet, when we know that he that he likes it a little rough, shall we say.
I did mention that later.
I did think that was a little bit weird, but yeah. Right. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Jill. No. Please continue, Jill.
Yeah, he did mention that later, that about the whole rough thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he did grow up amongst humans, so maybe hot chick hugs you, you're happy. I mean, I know.
Yeah, but still a mistake.
Even a Klingon.
Yeah, it's still a mistake. Like, why would he have a Targ on Earth? But anyway.
Of course. Well, he did have other episode, but he had a Targ on Earth apparently. What the hell? The Edo tell Picard to take Wesley, but he refuses due to the Prime Directive. What confuses me is the Prime Directive shouldn't apply here because this isn't the Edo's laws. That is a very good point. The Edo didn't make the law. They think they did. I don't know. But they know they think God did it. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I also put it in my notes, because who's to say that these folks aren't being subjugated by this alien species? And we never learn about it. It's exactly like BEM in that way, where it's like, why are you calling these people your children? In what way are they your children? And why are you the superior being? So it's got that BEM feel to it, and they should have resolved it. I totally agree, Jill.
Trying to find Jill's other ones here. Jill, I'm looking for your other ones. I'm trying to. There's 3.
Wolfie says, how long would a Targ need to stay in quarantine to get on Earth? Good one, Wolfie.
Remember that saying that I told you about that we had back in 1987 when we were reviewing these? We call on the phone and every week we were saying, done before, done better.
Yeah.
We're going to start. I just need to bring that back. Yep. Jill, I'll get to your next one if I can find it. I got 3, the first 3. I don't see 4, and I'm looking right at 3.
Ted.
So as soon as I can get to it, I will get to 4 as soon as I can.
Ted is so funny. P. Hard ordered the entire crew not to tell Wesley about the rules.
Oh, yeah, exactly. C- for Scuba Pete. This pub, pubically, dude, sounded better on paper than its triple execution. Well, Scuba Pete, you are
Scuba Pete, you are the pun master. I bow to you, sir. I bow to you. I am not worthy. I absolutely love you, Scuba Pete. Perfection, just absolute perfection.
It was not a representation. It was a lot of Planet of the Blondes, huh?
Yeah.
Bop. Okay, Mark D with a C. C. 2 out of 5 camels. Could the costumes be any worse? The story more derivative again?
Yeah.
What could have been original, learning more about God, was ignored. That's a good point. That was the thing that got me. They had some nuggets of some Trek ideas, worn though they are, and they just sacrificed it for all the silly shit.
Yeah.
One bright spot was the debating skills of the Edo, talking about laws and punishment. At least God finally had a spaceship. What does God need with a starship?
What does God need with a starship?
Mediator, how can we let this? Oh, yeah.
What do we got coming down the pipe here?
Trying to find more. I'm trying to find the one for Jill. I was trying to find 4 and 5 from Jill, and I can't find it. Jill, I'm sorry. I'm looking, and I don't know if it got eaten or.
Maybe we could get some help from Eric or Chris. Both of them are experts at that, and they tend to have a more reliable system on their side than ours. I don't know if you noticed or not, but about 10 minutes ago, the whole thing flashed. Did you see it?
Maybe because Jill, I don't have 4 and 5, my friend. I don't. And now I'm all the way up to speed. I ran back to it.
Crap.
And I don't have 4 and 5. Please, if you feel like putting that back up there, Jill, I apologize about that. I don't know.
I don't see it on my end either, so I think it's StreamYard's, Captain.
It could be.
Eric's saying it's not showing up for him either. At 5 minutes past the hour. Raquel and Clobby, it is not showing up.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. Jill, if you feel like putting that back in there or anything you need to say additional to the episode, please feel free. I am so sorry about that.
Oh,
thank you. Thanks, Raymond.
She just said I did repost it. I wonder what's going on.
I don't know.
Weird. This happens sometimes on StreamYards.
Because I'm looking right at it and I'm slowing it up.
Yeah, it's not there. And she says, can
you
see that?
Right next to 3. Oh, no. Well, 3 was the last one I read. And I'm going back to 3 again.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson, he said, I'm not a wrench, but I don't see Jill's 4 and 5.
So, yeah, there you go. I'm seeing 3, Jill, and it goes right to Crucible, the Super Cat, right? And it's they're not there. I'm sorry.
Very strange. I don't like that.
And usually I do miss stuff sometimes, but there's no way I could have missed this one. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Jill, but if you feel like putting it back, Jill, 5.
Yeah, Steve says that 3 out of 5 is
okay. 3 out of 5 is the last one that showed up.
Weird.
Okay, Jill, I don't know. And sometimes this happens. I'm wrenched for Polly.
Yeah,
and I've seen people's stuff not get posted sometimes, and I have to, as a mod, I see it and I go, but I don't know. I'm not a pro mod like Eric and Chris.
Well, Eric's saying that it's not showing up because YouTube might not like what she said. Like there might be words in it that are triggering the algorithm or whatever have you.
Wouldn't the mod see it though? I guess not.
I do know that some comments have been entirely ghosted, and I don't know why. Before moderator even has a chance to look at it.
Because I see that in Polystream a lot. Someone will put something that has nothing bad in it at all,
and it's gone. It's vaporized.
And I can see it as a mod, but no one else can. I have to okay it.
Yep.
And Snort says any derivative Jill 1 through 5, D+, awkward central greetings to TOS, Starlight God, Riker, and Troy show incompetence at researching the laws of the world. Why are you mentioning I'm not
He
sure what he
went,
means.
no, Snorty just apologized at 7 minutes past the hour. He just said, I just misread that. He was just going back and fishing through and trying to see it.
Oh,
He
okay.
can't
Thanks,
see it
Snort.
either. He was just trying to give a hand. Thanks, Snorty.
Thanks, Snort. Appreciate
You're a
it.
good bear.
Yeah, we'll see it. Good bear. Well, we'll get to our next episode then, folks. But Jill, if you have any more to say about that one, please feel
Yeah,
free.
it
I do
stinks.
apologize.
Or maybe,
It's just the way it is.
try and say it in a different way. I wonder why it's being vaporized by YouTube, but maybe try and say it in a different way.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we don't. Could have just could have been a glitch. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Katie Carr says, okay, going to take off. Oh, Katie, you have a good one. The battle equals C. I prefer the later depictions of the. Okay, well, we'll get. Okay, oh, we haven't reviewed the episode yet. So, but thank you, Katie. We got your rating on that. We love you and we appreciate you being here today.
Love you very much.
So, is everyone ready?
Yeah.
For our next and final episode of the evening?
Yes.
All right. Bring on the battle, folks.
Yes, that is the name of this final episode for the evening. The Battle, Season 1, Episode 9, November 16th, 1987. Oh, you're very welcome, Katie Carr. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and for supporting this show and this community. Everybody around here just absolutely loves you. You're just such a pleasure to be around, and I enjoy your company immensely. So I hope I'll see you next week and have a safe week and tell your family we said hello.
Indeed.
Okay, so folks, we are reading from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. And this, of course, this text has been blessed by Ronald D. Moore. We use this text to evaluate the text. We're only using little snippets from it, and as well as evaluate the show. Oh, okay. Is that antiderivative?
Well, there's 5. Still don't.
Oh, at 9 minutes past the hour, she says, "Can you see this?" Okay, then we'll just want to say there can be no justice so long as laws are absolute. Duh. For a trans-dimensional species, these Edo gods are pretty dumb.
Yes.
Yep.
I never saw 4, but we did see 5 there. So there you go. Phoenix Argus. Hello there.
Hey, Phoenix. I'm so happy that you're here. Hail. You're late.
Yeah.
Take a seat, mister.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and.
Okay, so if you're following along in the block text, we are on card or tile or block 40. Let's do it. Captain Picard receives a strangely generous gift from a Ferengi daemon, captain named Bok, the Stargazer, the now derelict vessel that Picard once commanded. 9 years earlier, Picard and his then crew abandoned Stargazer after it was badly damaged in an attack by an unidentified enemy ship. Bok casually reveals that the enemy ship was Ferengi. He claims his only interest in the matter is returning an abandoned ship to its rightful owner. Picard, troubled by an unusual headache and increasingly powerful remembrances of the battle aboard the Stargazer, is too distracted to question much. However, the discovery of forged log tapes on the old ship, leads Geordi, Data, and Riker to suspect that Bok may be attempting to discredit Picard's role in what the daemon refers to as the Battle of Maxia, a battle in which, not so coincidentally, Bok's son died. On the right, the Ferengi Thought Maker device, so there's a picture of it here in the text, which doesn't look nearly as threatening as when it... What? Oh, as when it isn't plugged in. Opposite, dress rehearsal on the bridge. So there's a lovely picture of them on the bridge. And there appears to be another tile here. And this one looks quite interesting. It's the old age question, which came first, the Stargazer starship or the model of the Stargazer starship? Ooh, you guys, this sounds juicy. The answer is the model came first, sort of. The little model is a permanent part of the set dressing in Picard's ready room, a curious quadruple nacelled ship resting on the credenza. It represents a collaborative effort by Andrew Probert and illustrator Rick Sternbach. Andy and I began fleshing out the Stargazer during the pre-production phase, based on a mention of Captain Picard's previous command in the TNG writer's Bible. Oh, they're finally following the Bible, Sternbach says. Following a conversation with the set director, John Dreyer, about adding a model of the ship to Picard's ready room. The pair threw a bunch of ideas together, did a few doodles, and settled on using 4 nacelles to suggest that the Stargazer was a very fast science vessel, recalls Sternbach. Then I did most of the actual fabrication and detailing. The model was painted in a desert yellow semi-gloss to harmonize with the Ready Room's warm tonal palette, not the traditional Starfleet hue, but one that could be rationalized as a specialized hull coating used in initial warp field tests. Ooh, this is juicy. Although never identified in episode dialogue as a model of the USS Stargazer, the intention seemed clear, or at least it did until the script for The Battle came in, signaling the need for a larger scale representation of Picard's ship, suitable for shooting purposes. Oh my goodness, I didn't know this. As Sternbach recalls, there was some talk about using the Enterprise refit, the filming model that had been created for Star Trek in the movies, but ultimately they decided to go with the Stargazer as we designed it. Ironically, there's a lot of the refit in the Stargazer. Sternbach had built Picard's Ready Room piece with parts from 2 commercial toy store varieties of Enterprise refit model kits. Oh my goodness, Mark D with the C, I hope you're listening. I'm pretty excited by this. He mounted 2 pairs of nacelles on newly fashioned pylons and turned them 90 degrees, then glued them together on top of the hull pieces, discarding the bottom halves to form the oversized saucer. To add texture to the surfaces, Sternbach included plant-on bits from Japanese anime kits. When the master model maker Greg Jen, built the 4-foot shooting model for the Stargazer for The Battle, he duplicated these details right down to a tiny anime robot Sternbach had attached to the bottom of the ship. And yet there are differences. The 4-foot model is painted in standard Starfleet shades of gray, making it forever distinguishable from its progenitor. Another difference, the official Stargazer registry number displayed on the shooting model is NCC 2893. The Ready Room model is numbered NCC 7100 because Sternbach had used decals from the Enterprise refit kits he bashed. We didn't believe they would ever be seen close enough to read. Oh my goodness. So, you will notice that the registry number on the shooting model is NCC 2893, so 2893. But in the Ready Room, the Stargazer is NCC 7100. So if Doomcock is out there, oh, DC, could you imagine that as a trivia question? I wonder who would get that.
Nobody.
And
you would know.
Yes, I'll get that one now. Of course, you already know. I'll never forget it now. So what did you think of the coverage? I learned something. What did you think of the coverage?
Yeah. That was good.
Go ahead.
Coverage much more interesting than the episode.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, again, here we go with them having something in this case, probably something of an intriguing premise. I had no problem with the premise. I've always, even back when it first came on, I always thought, okay, interesting idea for an episode. The execution of it's kind of wonky. I wasn't really big on that. But it was still fairly innocuous. Nothing really all that bad, I don't think, until Wesley has to save the freaking day again.
It's so ridiculous.
You can't leave us alone with the Wesley stuff, can you? You can't resist. At this point, I I would probably would have been fine and been like, okay, it was, and it was because I really don't think the episode was really all that bad. I thought it was a fairly interesting idea. I was not really thinking it was terrible, kind of just sort of so, but better than some of these ones we've been seeing. And then Wesley just boom right there. No one else can do a damn thing. It's always got to be Wesley.
Yeah. And, DC Fontana said it, the Wesley situation, the Wesley issue,
so right.
The Wesley problem, and it never goes away. It's like Spurpees. Once you get it,
yes.
it's coming back.
Even the Ferengi are written a little bit better in this episode, where they're not like little chimpanzees. There's some depth, like one of them, wants revenge for his son. At least there's some character there. The other one, the first officer, was at least listen to reason when Riker reasons with him. So they write the Ferengi a little bit better. Something from Picard's past. I don't even mind the whole thing about the Picard maneuver. That was kind of interesting. You had nuggets of some Trek stuff here and there.
Yeah.
And then you set it all up, and then what do? You hand it over to Wesley to save everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I have lots of issues with this episode, though. I didn't like it very much.
Notes?
Yeah, I have some pretty scathing notes.
It deserves it.
I'm kind of mean to the filth lovers here, but I'm just going to rub it in a little bit here. We open on a fish tank because the character Picard likes fish. He has Livingston in his ready room and tropicals in his quarters. It's important for actors to act. Old Patty Stew doesn't like fish or aquariums. He likes dogs. Patty Stew didn't want to transform into a French captain. He just wanted to be himself in comfy clothes, to make Peahard into Patty Stew. Wesley is smarter than Data, and Data will be speaking with him later to learn how to boost a signal. And look, the jumping crack gerbils are back. Wesley saves the day. Only Wesley can uncover the signals from the Ferengi ship. There is no profit in revenge. This isn't directly said, but I'm sort of repackaging it. I do love that they say that there is no profit in revenge, because of course they mean monetary, and of course I mean the soul. The soul never profits from revenge. So I do like that. Mm-hmm. And why would Starfleet allow a vessel to become derelict, floating in space, exposing tech and secrets? So yeah, this is a big no for me.
They thought it had been destroyed, didn't they?
Well, no, they abandon it, and they abandon it, and they don't really they're not really hard and fast on what happens. They went to their escape pods, and they got the heck out of Dodge because they were coming under heavy fire. I find that hard to believe because obviously when we look at the Stargazer, it doesn't look like she came under heavy fire at all. It looks as though nothing has happened to her at all. Could you imagine if these people had to face off against Khan?
Right.
Yeah, the Stargazer is in lovely shape compared to many battles.
Right. They should have made it clear that the ship was missing. That Bach had taken it and hidden it or whatever. And
yes,
they thought it had been destroyed for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah, they should have been clear.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and more on this character that Patty Stew seems to be struggling to do, because he's this British guy who wants to wear comfy clothes on set and likes dogs, so he'd like to bring his dog to the set. Meanwhile, Picard, I'm referring to Filth, but yeah, and he did complain about his uniform. He did not want to wear the uniform. He is so much so that he didn't get fired. He actually went and saw a chiropractor and got a chiropractor to write a note. When we all know, especially if you really, really love Gene Roddenberry like I do, that Gene Roddenberry was thrilled to be able to create hyper modern looking uniforms. He loved using stirrup pants. He wanted things to be close and tight. And that's what he wanted. He wanted something futuristic. And of course, we've now learned that old Patty Stew just wanted to wear his sweatpants and he wanted comfy clothes. So yeah, this is an episode that I think should remind filth lovers that Picard likes tropical fish. And he really, really likes tropical fish. He likes owning tropical fish. He likes caring for tropical fish. He has them everywhere. He does not like dogs. And that's the end of that. So yeah, this is a whole lot of suck in one episode that I battled to watch again.
Rating.
This is a D for me, sir.
Whoa, I love it when you give low ratings.
It's a D. It's a D. This is a whole lot of suck. Just the whole Wesley being smarter than Data, where he actually Data actually says out loud that he will be conferring with the 13 or 14-year-old boy about boosting a signal. It is so preposterous. It is so ridiculous. We're at the apex level where we've reached critical mass on F off Wesley. Just, yeah, no. Yes. I might give this an F if I keep talking. So just D, and I'm going to shut up now.
Lord Thoth, great to see you, buddy. We appreciate you being here. Had to run. Good night, sir. And M's here.
Hey,
Good night,
LT,
buddy.
We love you. Thank you so much for stopping in, and thank you so much for supporting the channel and this show. We love you so much, and have a great night. And please let Mrs. LT know that we said hello.
Can we just? He's got it. Okay, there's his rating. Yeah, mine's a D also, folks. So and really, I would have it higher rating because there are things I used to like about this episode, but the Wesley saving the day crap kills an episode that I thought at least had interesting things in it. And I'm trying to be as nice as I can. It's usually Raquel trying to be too soft on it. I'm trying to be too soft on it. But when you have him, it's not like once. We are freaking 8 episodes in, and he has saved the ship at least 6 times.
Yeah.
It's garbage for that.
We don't want it anymore. We're done. We don't want and he's smarter than Data, who has an intimate knowledge of all of the ship's systems, to the point where he can replace all the ISO chips in record time. We're talking about somebody with an intimate knowledge of the inner workings of this ship down to the microscopic level. And Wesley is going to school the android, the computer, on its own systems. Give me an effing break.
Yes, indeed. Lord Thoth says, and good again, we're so glad you're here, buddy. D, a better use of the Ferengi. A lot of subplots didn't fit. There were a few plot points that were very interesting. One of the better episodes of early season 1. Not a fan of the Stargazer. Yeah, I was going to say that as well. I really wanted to like the Stargazer because I thought it was a cool idea to have that ship, Picard's old ship. And first of all, it's too big. It shouldn't be that big up next to the Enterprise. That's a minor thing. I wasn't all that really thrilled with the design either, I must say. Lord Thoth.
Yeah.
You like that ship, or?
I'm not an engineer. I'm a nerd, and so I don't really know. I can't really speak to it. As Mark D with the C knows, I do like modeling. I modeled in the 70s and 80s when you could buy the whole little box and you could put things together. I really enjoy that, but I can't really speak to the engineering. I do think that it's neat that they had different call numbers for the Stargazer, and that's a cool bit of trivia. But at the same time, I don't. Why would 4 nacelles or nacelles, depending upon which generation you love, why would 4 nacelles or nacelles be necessary? I don't understand. And the ship wasn't even damaged. It looked like they burnt some toast on the bridge, and that's about it. So they wrecked the peanut butter toast this morning, and yet they abandoned it, and Starfleet was not interested in recovering it, and was not interested in keeping Starfleet secrets.
Deedishness.
Just crap.
No. Crapola. Aaron Feliciano says D. Wesley sucks.
I love you, Raymond.
They did improve the Ferengi. More overacting by Patty Stew.
Yeah.
More Wesley is the bestest ever. Please airlock Wesley. I could only hope, sir.
Yeah.
Zathras. F. We know Wesley sucks, but like Spaceball 1, does it switch to blow? I don't know. Now that, excuse me, sorry about it, everyone. I forgot to hit my button. Unprofessional of me. Now that question must be answered. Been a long day. Mr. Angel says C-. The science behind the Picard maneuver is intensely flawed. It stops my suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Extra credits for fleshing out the Ferengi more, though, and Wesley should get airlock. Definitely a airlock accident. Yes.
Lovely.
Because he ruins
Excellent
any scene he's in, he destroys. I mean, destroys everything about it. He's involved with. Pat S. D-. My advice to all Ferengi: become an arms dealer. One big sale and you're set. My cousin Gala, I guess you'd say, was an arms dealer. He sold a bunch of weapons, bought a moon, and retired. That's from Deep Space Nine. Good one, Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. Worth 2. 5 out of 10 for Wolfie. 760. 5 out of 10. Some cool stuff in this episode: Constellation class starship, the Picard maneuver, the bridge from the refed Enterprise, and Reliant.
Yeah.
And
you thought of Reliant too? I totally thought of Reliant. Hey, Wolfie, that's the first thing I was thinking.
Yep.
So I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm no engineering expert, and I'm certainly not an expert on the ships. I don't come to this show as a geek. I come to this show as a nerd. But yeah, I'm so happy that Wolfie thought of Reliant as well.
Indeed. Let's see. Never Reliant. Starships with 4 warp nacelles are against the Bible, but gets a pass as we get a nice throwback design here. The Ferengi a bit better, but still spraying a pooped diaper across half the quadrants.
Yeah, and Wolfie, the thing is that I don't understand is Snortopoopus is talking about this too. Is if you have 4 nacelles or nacelles, however, whatever generation of Star Trek you follow, why would that make it faster? I'm not sure if I understand that, because when I went to my planetarium, I've never studied astrophysics. I've studied comtech and linguistics. And my understanding at the planetarium is that what we're going to do is we're going to disrupt an area in space that creates a bubble around us. And that's how we're going to be able to quote unquote go faster. But I just don't understand. Yeah, anyway, I don't have the education in astrophysics to be able to articulate what I'm trying to say. Although if I had my local planetarium's explanation of how we're going to develop warp technology, I'd probably be able to articulate it a little bit better. But yeah, I just don't buy the whole 4 nacelle thing. Saying that as just a planetarium observer who has watched the, I think it's a 4-hour presentation here on how warp drive is going to be possible, and we're very near it now. But yeah, 4 nacelles, I don't know how that would work, because it's my understanding that we need that bubble, like to create that bubble. So that's supposed to be the most important thing, I believe, although that sounds probably completely inarticulate and indelicate and dumb to an astrophysicist.
Stephen Thompson, D-. Wesley is like Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day.
I loved Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse was great.
Yeah, why insult Mighty Mouse like that, buddy? Nuggets of goodness don't make a full meal. Yeah. They certainly do not.
Agreed, Stephen.
Patty Stew. Patty Stew did not really show us why he loved the Stargazer.
Yeah.
The Doctor is cute, but she's no dream girl. R&B. Yeah.
You. I'm almost ready to debut that. Almost there.
Wow. Crazy Pineapple. See, I liked the Picard backstory and the Stargazer. It looks interesting. However, he won't see the real We won't see the real Picard mover until season 3 when the crew changes uniforms. Uh-oh. The great Eric Key says, oops, did I lose? All right, let's see here. What happened? Thing jumped on. All right. Sorry. Okay. C minus. It is better than the last two, but at least Wesley saves the day again. Yeah. We need a whole crew of Wesleys. They would take care of the Borg in one episode. At least the Ferengi were better. That is so true. Yep. Just get Wesley out there.
This is like that was another one of tonight's top comments. Eric K, I love you so much. That was so well executed. That was perfect. That was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I love you. Mwah, mwah.
JT Kirk, C+. I never saw this until it came to Netflix. This episode never ran in reruns. Really? I saw.
Oh, really?
I remember when it first aired, and I find it as an interesting idea. I'm not critical, but Wesley really needs to just shut up.
Oh, Chrysabel the Crazed. Chrysabel the Super Cat is leaving for the evening. Have a good evening, Chrysabel the Super Cat. Thank you so much for joining us and for supporting this channel and this show. We appreciate you so much. I hope I'll see you next week, fine sir.
Absolutely, Chrysabel. We appreciate you. Scuba Pete, B+. I can't, I won't. There's a review for you there.
Oh, no, that's Scuba.
Fair enough, buddy. Anti-derivative Jill. B, this episode is a much better depiction of an individual Ferengi being devious in his search for revenge apart from his crew, who would never approve of such an unprofitable venture.
Yes,
absolutely.
Great comment.
It is much more clever than having them hop around with pool noodles like last time. It is so much of an improvement. Absolutely.
I love you, Jill.
We find the Ferengi aren't so bad when the first officer relieves Doc for using an illegal device. That is exactly right. Yeah, absolutely. Another good point. The low intensity thought sphere was fantastic. Fantastically okay. Fantastic, maybe. Fantastical. And it gave the Ferengi more intelligence in that they could manipulate Picard so expertly. Let's see here. Wesley saves the day again just by glancing at the console. Killed the possibility of an A, but I just ignore it. Even still, the last one, this last one is my favorite of the one of the night. I look, if not for the cute girls and the one before that, I'd be agreeing with you.
Love your comments, Jill.
If not for Brenda Bakey, this would be my favorite one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Jill, so much. Though. Appreciate that. We needed a positive review.
We did.
Snort of Verb. C-. The Ferengi are back and are less caricatured than the previous appearance. That seems to be the consensus that the Ferengi were definitely better in this one.
Crack gerbils.
Indeed. We find out more Picard's past aboard Stargazer. For some, Picard did not order a self-destruct. For some reason, I think he did not order self-destruct. Yes, he did not. Wesley, the Wonder Kind, once again saves the day by detecting the signal from Damon Bach's device when no one else in the crew can. He's clearly the bestest ever.
Yeah, exactly. I love that Snortopupus correctly deployed Damon Bach's name too. Great.
Indeed. Steve Mitchum, C-. Not as bad as the last two. They were trying to find a character for their new villains.
Yeah.
They really were, yeah.
They were. Once they realized that no one was going to buy the Ferengi as, these cannibal creepos and that everyone was going to be afraid. Imagine how they must have felt scrambling around trying to figure out how they were going to recast the crack gerbils and make it work.
Indeed. Marked it with a C. D. Redeeming factor in the episode is that Wesley gets a new uniform. Oh,
the rainbow ensign uniform.
Boy. Yeah. Oh no! Wait, it sucks too. Story of revenge trying to be Wrath of Khan fails on many counts and ruined more by peak Wesley suckiness. Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy is nice to everything.
So Mark D with the C and Wolfie and I all thought of Wrath of Khan. I'm so happy that that you guys did. That makes me feel a lot better because I was like, am I reaching here? But no, a lot of people felt the same way I did.
MJ1 Media, welcome. It's good to see you. Thank you
Hello.
for popping in. Appreciate that. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. Let's see here. What do we have left? I think we may have all of our reviews, but let's just be sure. We did. I think it looks as if we have all of our reviews. Let me just be sure. If I miss anyone, let me know.
Yeah, Steve Mitchum. Wow, and Mark D with the C is practically Mr. Rogers. He really is. And Steve means that in the kindest, most respectful way possible. He's just saying that you know it's difficult for Mark to be agitated, and certainly Mark is always looking to give the best and highest score he possibly can. So yeah, it's funny how the inadequacies even rile up the most amiable fans.
Indeed. Just checking, making sure. Getting up to speed here. Okay, I think we got all of our reviews. I believe.
All right. Yeah, I said that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we got a review. Oh, well, wow, look at that. We got we did it. At least we were quicker than usual. At least we didn't drag out the pain too much. I could lie to you all and tell you it gets easier next week, folks, but
It doesn't.
Don't think it does. It's been a while since I've watched some of those, so we shall see. We'll get through this together, folks.
The good news is that not only does it get better, it gets much better, and it's just it becomes beautiful. It becomes majestic. It becomes something truly special and wonderful. Not as wonderful as TOS. I'm sorry, because nothing is better than TOS,
No.
but it will get better, and we will be in a celebratory mood when we arrive at our destination. But just in season 1, we're not really at our destination quite yet.
We'll get there though, folks. We'll get there. Let me see. Whoa, what the hell?
Tyrell 72. Wesley sucks.
He does indeed. Oh, Parrot Head, I missed your rating. Which time? I'm just now seeing that Parrot Head. If you're still there, no, give it a set of double D's. Okay, from Justice. I missed it probably because I don't know. It just you got a small D there, and it probably didn't look like it was a rating, and I went by it. It happens sometimes. Parrot Head, if you're still out there, buddy, I apologize, my friend.
We love you.
I try to get everybody, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I see the screen cap of it that you sent me though. So many apologies, buddy. I'm so sorry. We really appreciate you. I would never miss anyone on purpose.
I love Marky with his C's comment. He says the crew in the chat and Claudia and Raquel got us through it. Yeah, it is fun skewering these crappier episodes when we have such good company, such wonderful people to be around, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I enjoy your company immensely. Just some hysterical, thoughtful, intelligent and wonderful comments this evening, and I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you so much, everyone.
Absolutely, we really appreciate you all, folks. And next week 4 more. Before I do some show notes and some goodbyes, I want to let you all know that of course there are many links in my chat below, in my description below, of all kinds of wonderful YouTube channels and whatnot that you should check out, of course, because YouTube is a It's a fun place to be and all kind of fun, entertaining things. Thank you so much there, Tyrell. But please, by all means, check out the literary works of my wonderful first officer, which there is a link right there right now, Raquel Briggs, because she writes science fiction.
I
And
write
there's a
science
link for that.
fiction short stories, and it's so incredibly generous of you to promote my stuff on your channel, and that is just, it's so kind of you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I write
Nothing to
science
it.
fiction stories. Always loved Edgar Allan Poe when I was young, and I loved Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I love The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone, and just short story fiction forms and even flash fiction forms. So I'm really passionate about that genre of writing and that genre of reading. So if you like that sort of thing, please hop on over to Amazon. You can buy the stories for under $1, and you can also find them on your Kindle device.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And everyone, there, of course, again, if you look in that description below, there's also a link to another author, a friend of ours, Raymond's. He's there.
Yeah.
And our new friend, Mr. Angel, says a fun stream. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. We love having new friends here, and I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you so much.
Yes. And we look forward to getting to know you better. We have a really, really great community here, and you were just spectacular this evening. And I'm so glad that you had a great time, because we have a lot of really wonderful, truly dynamic people involved in this community, and they're just so smart and so fun and so great to be around. So, yes, it's so good to meet you, Mr. Angel, and I'm so happy you had a good time.
I'm glad you're all just been fantastic tonight. Bit of a show note here before we get out here. Let's see here. Tomorrow I'll be over at the wonderful Purple Valkyries channel at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, hanging out with her. And of course, you can find her link to her Rise of the Valkyrie channel and many other ones below, as I have mentioned. Also, Monday night, it will be, of course, Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk. I'll do some open comics talk. We do that every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're a comics fan, CLOBBERIN Times, of course, we love Star Trek. We love comics. We love a lot of things here. And that's where we do a lot. There'll be open comics talk that night. We talk about, if you're new here, you want to talk comics, just come check us out. We have a lot of fun talking about the good stuff.
I have to interrupt to say that that's how I met Clobby. I met Clobby before he was on YouTube, when he had his other podcasting show that he did for more than 10 years. And I do have to tell you that as a scholar and as an author, I have never met anyone in my life who knows more about just comics and just the whole geekdom than CLOBBERIN Times. Just what a talented and generous and wonderful person. And if you've never watched anything on this channel, please tune into those comics seminars, because it's really like walking into a comic book store. He used to own a comic book store, which Eric's going to tease him about now. But it's really like walking into a comic book store, and the owner is always there, and the owner has so much to tell you and so much to teach you and so many things to recommend and so many things to show you. He's just so passionate and so knowledgeable. I call him the grand poobah of all geeks. And if you watched the Flintstones when you were a kid, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I've learned so much from him, and I definitely recommend watching those comic book shows, or just anytime he's talking about geeky stuff. This guy knows so much about really classic films, and just, yeah, he's truly wonderful. And it's why I call him my captain.
Mr. Angel asked, does Raquel have a YouTube channel? You don't really have one, do you?
No, I don't. I absolutely love being a first officer, and Clobby is my captain. So this is where you can find me. I love riding second chair here. So if you want to hear more from me, please know that that I'll be here with my captain and one of my best friends in real life, CLOBBERIN Times.
Well, thank you so much for that. I love you. Also, let's see another show note. Wednesday nights is usually my wild card night. I'll do like a topic or just open geek where I'll sit and just talk to you myself alone. Sometimes I'll have a friend hang out like my buddy Raymond did with me last Wednesday. And sometimes I'll just throw a topic out there. My fantastic friend Flash and I from the old school, we used to hang out on the BTR. We used to do our top 25 countdown lists, and we got a geeky, we did movies a couple of weeks ago and, have a lot of geek fun there. Well, this coming Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to we're going to count down our top 25 all-time favorite TV shows. So that'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, on Thursdays, as always, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Global Geek Gang gathers for a good bit of fun. And we had a great Global Geek Gang this past Thursday, as always. Just so much fun there.
Look at Dream Girl. Look at Dream Girl. I'm so excited. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But look at Dream Girl. Dream Girl's up there. My cosplay for Dream Girl is almost ready. I'm just bursting at the seams. I cannot wait to put it on. I'm so excited, everyone. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Clobby.
Can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. So that's going to be great. And again, everyone, And so looking forward to that. And, of course, August 8th, don't forget 60th anniversary of the Fantastic Four #1 release. We're going to celebrate it on that Sunday because Marvel and Disney will not celebrate the Marvel's First Family properly. We're going to do it here. Thank you so much for that. And anyway, let's say some goodbyes to many of our wonderful friends before we get out of here.
Yes.
Because it's just a tradition with us. We like to acknowledge everyone who was nice enough to spend their time with us.
We do.
If they had to leave, that's fine. We're going to get the shout out anyway. We're going to do this quickly, everyone. And then we'll play our end credits and get out of here. We're going to do this stuff. Yeah. The great Snortopoopus, Cuber.
Snortopoopus!
Cuber, appreciate you. The great Lord Thoth, who had to run, but we gets the shout out. We love LT. Jesus is my King 68 was here earlier.
Yay.
Always a pleasure. The great RN Raymond Feliciano, who is an author of the on his own right, and his links are in that description below there.
Yep.
You could put the link in there if you want to, Raymond.
Yep. All hail the Felicianos.
Janet from another planet, I believe, had to leave us, but we love you, Janet. Thank you.
Yes, we love you. Love you, Janet. Thank you for stopping by.
Our great buddy D Bud Martin. Bud, always a pleasure, man. Appreciate you.
Good night.
My bud J Man, I believe he had to head out, but J Man, shout out. Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Liger Fan had to run. Shout out to Liger Fan.
Took his tots with him and just ran out of town. So good to see you, Liger Fan.
The wonderful anti-derivative Jill. We really appreciate you, Jill. Thank you so much.
You were sensational tonight.
Always.
I love your comments. I enjoy your company immensely. Just love you, Jill.
The bronze surfer himself, the great Eric K. Yo, brother.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, love you.
You the man. I'm not kissing you. The great Chris Persia, another great master of wrenching. You the man, buddy.
Evaristopoli.
I don't know if he's still here, but we haven't seen him in a long time. And so when he pops in, we love this name. So we always make sure that I have to say, Dr. Hercule Monkey. I used to do it louder than that, folks, but it's late.
We love you, Doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
The doctor was in the house.
Let's see here. Steve Mitchum, my great buddy.
Maddie Stabby.
Always great to see you, brother.
Love you, Steve.
You're the man, bud. The lovely, beautiful Arwen Avalon. We love you, Arwen.
Yes. Thank you so much for stopping by, beautiful lady.
Stephen Thompson. We got these Steves going on.
Yeah, we have these are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. Stephen Thompson, you are just a wonderful person. I'm so happy that I met you. You know so much about Star Trek, and you're just so great to be around, and I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! I love you.
Wolfie762. Thank you.
Talk about nailing the comments tonight. Oh my goodness, Wolfie. You were spot on.
Indeed. JT Kirk, my friend. We always appreciate you.
Yay. Hi. Nice to see you.
Kal-El 48, my friend, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you.
Good night, my friend.
Our new friend Mazarus. Again, I hope I'm not saying that too poorly. Thank you. We appreciate. We always love when new folks pop in,
Yes,
and we always
do.
hope you return.
Yes.
Tyrell 72, also
Yes.
a pleasure. Thank you for being here. We
Nice
really
to meet
appreciate you. The great Pat S, my buddy.
Yeah, Pat.
Zathras here and Zathras do. Always good to see Zathras.
Yeah,
You're the man,
Zathras. He was hysterical tonight. Some of his comments were just ridiculous.
Wow.
I like the boring done as boing, 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 boing. That was pretty
Deanna
funny.
Troy is here.
Well, hello, Deanna Troy. Will there be chocolate?
Wow, that's also a new person we haven't seen there before.
Hello.
That name sounds familiar somehow. Thank you for popping in, Deanna Troy.
I'm sensing that you want chocolate.
Yes and yes. The great Dave Bob was here. All right, buddy.
Yay!
Dad Man Walking 55, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Yep, and the missus. Thank you so much for being here.
Fantastic friend of the show and helper of the show, with one of our greatest pals ever, Mark D with a C, buddy.
Oh, yeah, Mark D with a C. How can I ever thank you for everything that you do for us all the time? Just love you so much. Thank you so much.
You the man. Parrot Head, buddy. I'm sorry about that mishap there, man. I don't watch my Twitter DMs that much, and I just didn't see that because it was just, I looked at your screen cap of it. It didn't look like a rating, I guess, because the way it was capped. But I'm sorry, buddy. We
had a little,
appreciate you.
Yeah, we had a little bit of something happen tonight, I think.
No, it was there.
Because anti-derivative Jill's comments were vaporized as well. So sorry about that, Parrot Head. And thank you so much for letting us know, because you know we would never leave you out. We love you very much.
Indeed, buddy. The lovely and talented Katie Carr. We love you, Katie. Thank you for being here tonight.
Katie.
My great buddy Jobber, a.k.a. Just Joe 47, or vice versa. Good to see you, bro.
Yep.
Darth Haster, thanks, buddy, for being here. You popped in
Thank
earlier.
you.
The wonderful Apollonese Minion.
And the pupperoni. Please pet the pupperoni for me and be safe on the roads.
Let's see here. Alaric. Let's make sure I'm saying that right.
And Zach
Harrison.
And Zach 7 is here as well, up above Alaric.
Oh, Alaric. Am I saying right? Alaric Harrison?
I think that's pretty close. Alaric,
and
please
Zach
let us
7.
know. And Zach 7, yeah. Thank you so much for stopping in and for listening to us.
Yeah. I don't know if I said that right. Okay, I did.
No, we're getting thumbs up. Alaric says you're all cool, Captain.
All right. Good to see you. We always love it when people show up to see us. New people pop in. We love that. We're almost done, folks. Let's see here. Stuart Mitchell popped in earlier. Thank you, Stuart. The wonderful, beautiful, lovely, magnificent Rennie A popped in. We love you, Rennie.
Yes. Wasn't that great? I was so happy that she popped in.
My great buddy Nick Weiser popped in. And let me I forgot to mention this earlier. I forgot it in my show notes. Tuesday night, after I sit on Loki's, as I do every Tuesday night, after Loki's comic book roundtable, I will be on at, I believe, 9:30. I hope I'm getting the time right, Nick. 9:30 Central Standard Time on Nick's channel, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. There's a link in the description below. We will be reviewing part 1 of Batman: The Long Halloween, the DC animated film that just was released.
Yep.
That just released. And eventually, when 2 comes out, we'll review part 2.
Yep.
The Catman, aka D.D. Myers, my friend. Yay. Thank you. Crisable the Super Cat.
Yeah.
Everyone. Thank you so much.
Formerly known as Crisable the Crazed, but it's now Crisable the Super Cat.
Indeed. Crazy Pineapple, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Mr. Angel, our new friend, we appreciate you, and I hope you will continue to visit us. Thank you so
nice
much
to meet you.
For being here tonight.
Yeah.
Ted Milich, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. My old buddy, your Muslim uncle, popped in, I know, stuck in earlier, popped the head in. Always a pleasure. Cavatino Caverman Shea, always a pleasure.
Hello, sir.
Phoenix Argus, thank you.
Yes, Phoenix Argus. I missed you, so I was so happy that you popped in.
There we go. Was here. And MJ1 Media, thank you for popping in.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone for popping in. I hope I got everyone. Sometimes I miss people, and this chat's crazy. But yes. Oh, 9:15. I'm sorry. 9:15 p.m. Okay, man. Gotcha. I've got the time wrong. 9:15. There we go. I'm looking forward to it, bro. One of my dearest pals here on YouTube. He's got a great channel. Please go check his channel out.
It's going to be fun if Nick's gonna if Nick's there. It's going to be really fun and funny.
What's the source of the ending music? You'd have I didn't pick that. That would be up to Raquel to tell, because I don't know.
That's a composer, and I don't know why his name escapes me right now. I can't think of it. Oh my goodness, I can't think of it. I'll give it to you next week. But it's a composer who I really like a lot. He has a lot of this type of inspiring music. I can see his name, but I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, it's in the public domain. You can listen to him. He even has a website. I can't believe I can't remember his name. I will tell you next week, Stephen Thompson. But yeah, you can download all of his stuff for free and listen to everything he has for free. He's very talented, and I find him very inspiring. His music is very inspiring.
Well, absolutely, and I love this theme. And we're going to play you all out now with our Saturday Night Trek theme, acquired by our wonderful, most magnificent first officer in the fleet, Raquel. And I want to thank you so much for being with me here again. Number one, it is so much fun doing this with you. Thank you for making this intro. And we always give a little bit of a shout out to the great Mark D with a C for helping us get it on this thing, which he did. So good night, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend and a great week.
Good night.
And we'll be here next week, same bat time, same Trek channel. Yeah, good night, everybody.